Okay, guys, we're alive. Hi, everyone. This is Georgette, also known as Miss G.
Hey,
I work
Misty.
for the law office of Vincent Davis, and I am the host for Real Talk with Miss G and the gang. And as you guys know, the gang already is here. Darren Y, Dr. Tanya Fowler, and Miss Barbara. And we have today attorney Elizabeth Jacobo. She is an attorney in our office, and she fights against CPS, and she defends parental rights, and she gets children back. Now, as I mentioned to you guys before on my shows, a lot of you guys that hire an attorney, you don't listen to your attorney. You don't want to follow what your attorney recommends, and you tend to do things your own way. That's the only time you lose your case, is when you don't follow the attorney's advice. Um, I'm not speaking of court appointed attorney. I'm speaking of when you hire your own attorney. Elizabeth, would you please share with us, with everybody, about you, about
Sure.
wonderful you?
Sure. I'm an attorney and I've been doing this for about 15 years this year, as a matter of fact. And I've only done juvenile dependency. I kind of fell into it. It really wasn't something that I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to be a prosecutor. I used to want to be a DA. I remember I used to have the ringtone for the Law and Order. Dun 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 dun.
That's so cool.
I did because that's what I was gonna be. But this job was an opening that I fell into. Like God just put everything in
In
place.
place. Mhm.
Because when I was in law school, I went to Southwestern and there was a nonprofit forum thing, whatever it was. So somebody threw we could put our resume in there. So I threw my resume in one, and Sue Dow called me. Sue Dow is an attorney. She's been fighting for years against DCFS. And back then, this was a long time ago when they used to have panels,
Mhm.
and it wasn't the way it is now with 5 different ladles. It used to be they were private attorneys back then, but you used to get it was like a what do you want to call it? Like a meat market because you just
Mhm.
wanted to get the next number and you wanted to get the mom because if the mom had more kids, you'd get paid again. So it is a system of getting, one person gets paid, the other one person gets paid, and that's how it all works. But yeah, I met Sue. I was her intern for a little bit, and I got to meet the foster kids because she used to represent children. So that was really interesting because, I work for, I'm fighting against something that says all the time that they know better, right? They have a better plan for these children. And the funny thing is that, I didn't go see babies really. I was going to see, bigger kids, of course. And these kids are in group homes. They were in just situations that I don't think were any better. It was kind of like this one home I went to in Pasadena. I did not see an adult that lived there, and I'm sure they did or worked there, staff 24 hours, but they weren't there at the time when I had went to go meet with the client, which was, a minor. And I don't know, it's just a system that it's just one company gets paid by this company, then gets paid by that company. You get ordered to do domestic violence, then the DV people get paid, then you got to get ordered to do parenting. The parenting people get paid, substance abuse, those people get paid. So, it's a big system
Mhm.
where everybody gets a piece of the action, and your
Yep.
kids are the ones that suffer because they're making you go through programs when you could have your kids in your house already.
Yep.
I mean, the law says that they're supposed to use the least restrictive means before they remove, and we just don't see that often enough. A lot of times they get removed real quickly. I've had a good experience with Pomona Court though. And I was hoping to reach my client today, but she wasn't available. This case was like kind of unheard of to get the results that I was able to get. This judge was open-minded, unheard of. Okay, because the allegations were this: the mom, it was a fail to protect because father was there was a raid at the house or search at the house, and they uncovered 200 pounds of methamphetamine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a big deal. And they removed, obviously, from both parents. So I went to she hired me privately, right? And with Vince, and we went to court, and we asked for the child to be returned at detention,
Mm-hmm.
and that we had a safety plan, that they shouldn't have removed, that I knew they were going to go with because it was so much drugs, they were going to say that they were going to come retaliate maybe at this home, and so it wasn't a safe place to return the baby. So I know all that, right? I knew that was going to be the angle. And so um one of my colleagues had gave me a heads up about that. I prepared for that. I had my girl, I trailed the detention for 1 day, and I had my girl go out and find something. So then I gave them the option to, check this house out. Mom's moving. She's going to be over here, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? It worked out. She got the baby at detention. Unheard of. You know what I mean? It was awesome. It was great.
That's awesome.
And then during the jurisdiction, I ended up, and the judge said, because these drugs was outside the home, and it was in a plastic container. You know those bins that you
Mm-hmm.
put your like Christmas stuff away in and stuff like that. You can't see in them. They're, a solid color, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So they described it as that, a black solid color, da 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 da. And the department, when they were arguing, they were trying to say, oh, it was a plastic container. You could see inside, blah, blah, blah. How did mom not know? And I was like, I have a lot of containers that are Christmas decorations, that are whatever, what have you. It's not unheard of for me to walk by a box and not know what's in there and not care what's in there, not necessarily, especially I don't see drug traffic. I don't see anything suspicious. Why would I? Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And
you're right.
this judge was awesome because she agreed with me. She said, you know, my husband has a ton of stuff in the garage. I don't always check what's in there. She goes, maybe I should. But the point was, but the point was, is that, she was a human being and she got it, and she released that. And then we had our trial, and I got mom to be non-offending. So she was not offending under the petition, take away the failure to protect or any of that. And then instead of coming back in 6 months to close, we just closed the case last week in 3 months.
Oh
So,
my God.
right?
Oh my God. Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect. I want to just share with everyone. There was a most recent letter that was written about Elizabeth Jacobo in an email to address to Attorney Davis and the office. And this person, this client included me in the email as well. And I remember reading that. I read the email late, like late, like I didn't read it like the same day. But she said, Elizabeth was a fighter in court, and that Mr. Davis made the right decision having her and me on his team. She said it was like a page and a half long. And she said out of all the attorneys, she felt more comfortable with Elizabeth because Elizabeth actually spoke up. She didn't just sit there and listen to crap. She actually objected and she spoke up. She was there. She was present. And I mean, I can read you guys the letter, but it's long. It's pretty long.
It was
But
awesome
it
too.
was
I got to say
awesome.
that they were talking about me and Miss G, and you know what? Sometimes we get emails and they're complaining, now my attorney didn't call me back or what have you, which is understanding. It's your kid, and you're very anxious and concerned, so you want
Mhm.
answers. So I understand that, but sometimes, yeah, we do get a complaint or two. But I thought it was so awesome because here's this client, and I was having a bad day. I was having one of those days where I was just feeling like, oh, I got to
Don't
write
F
this.
with me today, right?
Yeah, and it was I had to write a motion, and it was one of those days. And I opened up this email, and it said such amazing things, and I was so happy. It God gave me what I needed that day because I needed somebody to tell me you've been doing a good job, and here's somebody else that thinks so too. And my favorite part was when she said, if anybody says that Miss G or Elizabeth isn't doing their job, they're liars. I love that part.
Mhm. I love that. That was towards the end. That was towards the end because a
Right.
lot of people do lie for some reason or another, and I don't know why they feel the need to do that. I mean, I know the attorneys in our office very well, and I love each and every one of them. I don't understand. I mean, Elizabeth, for example, she does fight really hard for people. She knows how it is to be a mother. She knows the love of a mom to children and to her children and what have you. And people, because they're so angry at the system, they're taking it out on their attorneys or
Yeah.
us. And oftentimes they say, "Oh, I called Elizabeth. She's not returning my call." And I'm like, "But wait a minute." I'm like looking at the text messages. Like Elizabeth would be communicating with her clients, but they say she doesn't call. So I don't understand that part. And I realize that parents, when they're in the midst of trials and tribulation with the system, they're so absent minded and they tend to do things their way, or they tend to listen to child advocates online, which they tell them not to listen to their attorney and to do things their way because they got their kids back. And
Right.
Elizabeth, I was explaining to everybody on the show one time, is that these child advocates are not attorneys.
Right.
They're not attorneys for them to help you, and every case is different.
Yes.
And they, just because they got their kids back, you don't even know how they got their kids back. You're going by their word. And
And
anybody,
they're all different because you can have it could be the social worker that is the issue, it could be the placement that they put the
Mhm,
child in. It
mhm,
could be, there's variables. And I know that you said, Miss G, if you just listen to your attorney, you'll get your kid back. And for the most part, that is the truth. You have your rare occasions where there is something that's put up where it just seems like no matter what you do, the next report is something more negative about the client, more negative. So that's when you've got to cross-examine that social worker,
yep,
because they're giving you these reports and it's like they get to say whatever they want. Here it is. Boom. I'm saying that. Nobody's going to ask me anything about. No, you're going to say that. So we're going to ask you about it.
yep,
And what else did you know? What else did you hear? Because they get away with that all the time. And I think you got to learn, and you learn with experience. And like I said, I've been doing it 15 years, and you learn with experience if you're going to get further by putting that social worker on the stand and trying to cut them apart,
mhm,
or if it's going to be a negative on your part, you
mhm,
know, because if you got a client that is not doing what they're supposed to do,
mhm,
we got a dirty test, we've got a whatever, what have you. I can't change the facts, baby. They're your facts. You're creating your facts.
mhm,
So as long as you're doing what they ordered you to do, we're going to be good.
right,
And I will fight that social worker and I will get you to justice. But if
right,
you are not doing what's being asked of you, like Miss G said, you get pissed, or you're like, well, you know what? I'm tired of doing what they say. These people are too much. I don't even get to see my kids. Yes, it sucks. It sucks. But
yep.
guess what the alternative is? Saying goodbye to your kids,
Exactly. That's my
you
point.
know?
When they come to us, Elizabeth, they usually come to us when the case is already messed up.
Yep.
And the thing is, they already signed the safety plan or the whatever plan that they force them to sign, and they already communicated with the social workers. When you communicate with the social workers and you sign a plan with them, you come to us and say, "Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to follow the plan." Well, you already signed it. You can't take it
Yeah.
back.
And the catch 22 on that is that you don't cooperate,
Hmm.
you're in trouble.
And if
You
you cooperate, you're still in
you
trouble.
could be in trouble,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
it's all in how you got to play that hand. It depends on what you're doing,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And that's the truth. And that's why you got to be real with your lawyer. Don't lie to me. I'm your friend. I'm your only friend,
Yep.
really. And I want to know everything you're doing. Tell me the truth. If the
Yep.
social worker comes and says, "Oh, well, we saw mom with the stepdad and he wasn't supposed to be at the visits," and you're going backwards. Stop going backwards. The rules in place suck. It's very I applaud anybody that can get through this and get their kids back, because
Hmm.
it's a tough test. It really is. But the alternative, like I said, what is it? Adoption. If you're a parent, you know what it means to for anybody to even scold your kid besides you.
Yep.
Can you imagine, how these people feel when their kids are in someone else's home and they're telling them what to do, when to sleep, on that must be tough. So I know it's hard on, my parents that go through this, but there is a way, and I look at it like the baby's the bail, you know? You work for that bail, you put it up, you do what you need to do so you can get that child back.
I agree. And what do you tell? What, for example, if you have a case? Well, okay, um, okay, it's in my mind. It's on my tongue. I can't get it out. If you get a case that's towards a brand new case that's towards a TPR, like
Okay.
it's gonna be, they're gonna lose parental rights.
So they came to
What
us
is,
after their FR was terminated.
correct. After reunifications was terminated,
Okay.
and now they're going through the TPR stage. I know you got cases like that because I've given you cases like that. So, what's your what can you say to people? How would you handle a case like that?
So it depends on kind of depends on a lot, because if you're in a county like San Bernardino,
Hmm.
um as soon as they terminate your family reunification services, they mess up your visits. You get like one time a month visit.
Yeah,
Riverside too, I think.
everybody
So
does.
you go from going weekly visits to they cut your visits, because obviously they're trying to cut your tie with your child. And
Yeah.
that's horrible. So a way to for that not to happen, I think that courts are not unreasonable when it comes to that component. If you have been visiting your child consistently,
Hmm.
you know, it is harder for the court to say one time a month, because I think they're also hoping that maybe you'll get it together, file a 388, and do what you need to do. So that's kind of a hint sometimes when the judge doesn't cut back on your visits, you kind of can see, maybe they're going that way. But let's say they do, and you're stuck with that, you know, um, you got to do the case plan. Some people say, well, I did it all. I did it all, and they still terminated. Well, I need to see what you're talking about. Show me all the proof of what you completed, what you actually did. We need to see the reports right away, not later, right away, because we've already lost the upper hand. Because once you're in permanency, it's your burden to show, the parent's burden to show that it's in the best interest for this child to not lose a relationship with their parent. So that can happen if you have consistent visitation. You know, if let's say it's great when you have conjoint counseling with your kid, because there's that connection that, they're keeping alive. Um, if you've done your programs already and they were done during the time of review, unfortunately, you might have to do some things again. And you get 120 days between terminating services and the 2/6 hearing. So, I mean, some people, you can do get your foot back in the door with during services, because you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it looks like it's a done deal. These people are gonna, adopt and what have you, and things happen sometimes. Sometimes I find out that the person that wanted to adopt, there's something wrong with them, or they've been doing something they shouldn't do, And then it is in the best interest to grant you services because you've had that ongoing relationship with this child and they learn to count on you. It's easier with the older child, obviously, because you can have that friendship, communication, Um, it's hard with a baby, but it can be done.
Yep.
And
Bonding
you
study, right?
yeah, bonding studies you can do or really come to us before you're
Yep.
at a 2-6 because we can put the pressure on the social workers to make sure you're getting the court ordered visitation you're supposed to get.
Yep.
Because sometimes, you'll go the whole 6-month review period and you only got like 3 visits, 5 visits. Well, that's bad on you too, because why did you let it go? That's how the court looks at it. You got to remember that the court's always looking at it like you're the parent, so you should be concerned with this. You should be wanting this, because they give you a hard time even when the department doesn't necessarily help you do the things you're supposed to do, because at the end of the day, they're your kids. So here's a list. And a lot of times the lists are outdated and old and what have you. But this is what the law says that they have to give you in order, to provide services. But if you have a strong attorney, and let's say you win at the 2-1-E date, for no reasonable services, you can prove that the department didn't do the visit, wasn't advocating that, took a long time to get that set up, didn't give you the referrals right away. All of these kind of things, they add up. They add up. And ask for the Title 20s. Show that in there they never even talked to your client. Submit that as evidence. And the court can find that there was no reasonable services offered. And then when that happens, you get 6 free months of FR. So that's to your advantage. And a lot of people don't know that.
No, yeah. A lot of people, I'm sure,
Did you
didn't
know
know.
that?
No, I didn't know that part at all. But I'm glad you said that. That's very important.
Because
But
it's like a contract, right? You get that case plan, you sign the case plan, the judge signs the case plan, the social worker signs that case plan, right?
Mhm.
They have a duty to provide you with those things that are on the case plan so you can establish and be successful in your case plan. The law says that the case plan needs to be narrowly tailored to, um, do what's best so you'll be able to reunify with your children.
Exactly. But the reunification part, and I know that I spoke to Jennifer Ani on my show about this before. Um, they say reunification, but they never aim for reunification because oftentimes if there's an infant involved, they will put the infant in a foster home that wants to adopt.
And put them separate from the other siblings a lot of times too.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
And
So
so that's when you've got to get a motion for relative placement to get that child with, the other kids. Let's say if their siblings are someplace else, you want to make sure that the baby's with them too, because it is easier to go straight to the baby. And the department gets away with it by saying that they have to do concurrent planning.
hmm
And so, back in the day, there was not the statutory limitations that there is now. People had a long time to reunify, you know, but it also had kids dwindle, in the system. It wasn't all that wasn't the best solution either, and I think they try to come up with a better solution with coming in with these statutes, but it's tough. It's tough because, you know, a child under 3, you only get 6 months.
hmm
And, let's be real. If there is an issue that we have, if we do have a drug issue, it is hard to say, okay, I've got to do what I got to do now. No time to waste, you know, get in that program, do what I need to do. It's hard,
it
but
is.
it can be done. And if it is drugs, you know what, let this be the wake up call and get what you need to do so you can be there for your baby, you know?
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. But I do have a question for you, Elizabeth. This is from Auntie Barb. She's the co-hosting with us right now. She said her question is, what should a foster child do if they do not want to be adopted but are too afraid to speak up? Meaning that the foster child is what, 15 years old, Auntie Barb? 15 years old.
Oh, well,
For
that's good.
yeah.
I
So
think
what?
they I think they only have to be I think they have to agree to the adoption. I want to say if they're an age
What if
like
they're being
that.
coerced and
So
threatened?
they won't tell their lawyer either.
Their lawyer is
The
Well,
court
they're old enough. They're old enough though to put it. Why don't they go to court? Why doesn't
because they're
this minor?
surrounded by the people who are threatening them.
Okay, let me
Can
explain
somebody
something.
reach out to them and try and get them to go to court and ask to be heard privately? Can he send an email to his social worker or the attorney on his own?
Total isolation. No phone, no access to the outside world.
How about can mom file a 388 and
TPR.
it already happened? TPR already happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
no
that.
family reunification has been offered to any family member at all. Ever.
Okay, so
It's all been denied, turned down, flat out. There's a
For no
lot of violations in this case.
Mhm. No reason, Elizabeth. No reason.
Right.
mm,
I mean,
That's-
literally, one of the family members is a social worker in another state.
hmm
They turned down
Yeah.
a cop to continue committing crimes against children. So
they were offered as relative placement and they kept the. Well, wait a minute, hold on. Who's adopting this 16-year-old though? Who did
15.
that? 15.
14.
Who
14
adopted them? Just a
strangers, foster
really,
parents.
really.
It's a very corrupt and complicated situation. And I have
Elizabeth, they use them like slaves, basically, when they're teenagers,
Exactly.
do the chores, clean the house,
indentured
clean
servants,
out the trash, all this.
Wow.
taking care of the other kids in the house,
Mhm.
homeschool. I mean,
Mhm.
there's no outside resources, no phone, no confidential private conversations, even with the lawyer.
I think all that can be done is believe it or not, calling the hotline continuously about certain things. They have an obligation to have to go out there.
But
Maybe
they don't do it, Elizabeth.
They,
You
it
know
well,
gets
they
that.
have
turned
an
over.
obligation. They're
The
supposed to.
hotline. The hotline turns it over to the county, and the county retaliates,
Yep.
even against the children.
Yep.
Maybe you can try going to a different county, different office. I've seen it done
They
before
all
where
turn it over to this county.
let me tell you something. Personal story that I know. I helped this person set up a guardianship, okay, for her grandchildren, right, out in San Bernardino. This daughter of hers, who is not responsible to want the children,
Mhm.
right, loves to call DCFS on her mom so they can go out and bother her. They
Mhm.
got to check on the kids. We got to check on the kids. So this is why I say, I mean, she's gotten from, if it's not, when San Bernardino gets tired of going out there, she'll call Fontana and they go. They left another business card. So what I'm saying is keep it up, keep making noise because
Yeah.
they're supposed to follow up on these kind of calls. They have to, they're doing it for this girl who's ridiculous and crazy and should have her own, whatever. The point is that I've seen it done, and that's the only kind of way that I see around it is just keeping going to the hotline.
But it all gets turned over to the county and the county retaliates.
Well, but there has to be a referral system that'll start getting generated. And now if this person is going to adopt them, guess what? It's their kid now. So the referrals are going to come under them as the parent. And
Right.
there's room there. There really is. I mean, because think about it.
Because, I mean, the county
If
in
these-
question has literally covered up state reports from DSS.
But what I'm saying is if now there's these allegations that are being made and there's an inquiry that's being made and they follow up with it, something could happen. If enough of them are made, they have to make their referrals. Referrals lead to a detention eventually. Everybody knows that, so they have to go out and check on the referral. So if I were you, to be quite honest, I would try different counties and report what's going on, because the bottom line is there's an abuse of this minor, right?
Yes.
That's what's happening. You're not creating a problem. The truth of the matter is this child is being abused. Somebody should look into it. Call the cops. Look into it. Welfare check. How about that one? Welfare check.
There's a question for you, Elizabeth. It says, if children were returned to sender by the adopted parent / dad's cousin to the paternal grandparent they were removed from, how does their maternal aunt save them?
Well, okay, wait a minute.
Read it. Yeah.
If the children were returned to sender by the adopted parents, dad's cousin. So who's the sender?
The sender.
The grandparents? Children were returned to sender by adopted parents, dad, cousin, to the paternal grandparents. Yeah. So they gave the kids back to the paternal grandparents who actually had them removed from them. How does this maternal aunt save them? Is the case, I would need to know. Okay. So obviously they're doing all this behind the department's back.
Right.
So, I mean, one more, I don't know what to say to that, because the bottom line is another hotline issue. Maybe you report that this child is living with the paternal grandparents and this child was removed. They've got to go look into that. And if they remove, then she can put her hat in there for some placement, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, we need to know a little bit more. I don't know.
We do need a little bit more, but what I'm saying is off basically what I can read here, I would think that, if it was reported to the department that this child that has, a case that was closed out with DCFS involvement, and the adopted parent is now giving the child back to the person that the child was removed from, that's definitely a violation. That's another at-risk kid. And, then they would file a petition against the adopted parent for giving the kid putting him in an unsafe place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making an inappropriate plan for them or something like that. That's a B count. So what I'm saying is there is, I think, an opportunity, but she can't just go in and say, give me the kid, because this kid has already been adopted by the cousin. So, and she can't just say, grandma and grandpa gave me this kid because I know you're not supposed to have him. So basically, there needs to be brought to the attention of the department that this child has an inappropriate plan because he is staying with the people who abused him in the past. That's it. That'll trigger something, and it should.
Wow. Okay. What advice do you have for people that, example, the maternal grandmother is fighting for her grandson, okay, and that grandson was not placed with her, and they're giving the grandmother a runaround because her daughter is creating problems. And
Okay,
the grandmother is a very educated. She's very,
okay,
the one
so
I'm talking about, she's right here on the show. Her name is Dr. Fowler. Dr. Fowler, I know you have a question for Elizabeth. Do you want to go ahead and ask? Because can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Greetings to the entire panel. Greetings, Miss Jean, Madam Chair. Greetings, Darren, Auntie, and our lovely attorney. A question was asked of me yesterday, too, in fact, that I can pose again, anew, if Miss Jean agrees.
I would like you to ask her a question pertaining to your case. I just said that.
My question has to do with the public exposure of the social worker responsible for kidnapping my granddaughter. I have some young men who have a social media platform who have invited me to come to their platform next Wednesday.
Mhm.
What platform it is exactly, I don't know. It might be TikTok or something of that nature. I don't mean to be. It might be Instagram. Sorry. But nonetheless, these are local activists.
Is that my noise? I'm sorry. I thought I heard like something really loud. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so there's a group of local activists who have been successful in exposing an errant party before on their platform, after which they staged a protest and they got results. The person that they were protesting against actually packed up and left their business behind. So my question is, since in this case, the social worker is employed by the subcontracting agency for CPS here, we call it DHS.
Mm-hmm.
Am I allowed to go on to social media and state her name and the name of the CEO?
State her name?
Yes.
I don't see why not. I mean, even though she may not like it, I mean, if I were to represent you, and you were upset with me at some point, you're free to go out and say, my attorney Elizabeth Jacobo, blah 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 blah. I think that you're free to say this social worker so and so did X Y Z. They're employees of the state, and I'm sure they're public record. You know what I mean? That you can't. You're not. I don't see why they should be protected in some, other higher protection than anybody else is what I'm getting at. It's not like you're talking about a minor, where something like that could come in where you don't want to give information that you shouldn't because the person's a minor and you don't want to give away any case facts and that kind of thing. Like the fact that you are fighting this case or you're involved in this case, and I think it's your grandchild, right?
Yes.
You do want to keep the name of your grandchild like out of this, because the bottom line is that child is not your child, right? And they are a subject of a petition, and we just want to make sure that that child's name, there's no harm that comes to them. As far as the social worker that comes out, they leave their business cards, they do this, they do that. Why not? Why can't you say her name?
Okay. Thank you.
But if you get sued, I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, it just that just seems like a reasonable thing to me. You know what I mean? It's not like you're out trying to slander her. The bottom line is you're sharing your experience about this person, and if it happens to result in not sounding good as far as what she did with her job, well, then that's just too bad. Stay away from the profanities and stay away from any kind of name calling and just get straight to the fact of what you believe happened and what happened in the case or how you've been treated. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if the other question, Georgette, you said about placement. No, I think it was your question though, Doctor. Do you have a question about?
There was a second question yesterday that had been asked of me to bring to the show. And it is, how can you bring charges against a CPS social worker? In other words, charges maybe for defamation of yourself, in quote,
right.
Charges for defective process recording, charges for unlawful seizure, charges for obstructing family visits. Or are there any charges, in other words, that can be pressed against this person, or criminal complaint? I'm sorry.
I think in order for it to be a criminal complaint, it would have to be something really off the chart. Unfortunately, your remedy is kind of filing things. You know what I mean? File a 388 to disclose what's going on. It doesn't always get you anywhere, but that's probably the more proper method to go on. Of course, you can complain about them. I don't know of. I know that those social workers where that little boy died,
Mm-hmm.
they did do some criminal stuff against him, but look at what that took.
Mm-hmm.
A death, and
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't know, and it's crazy, and those are the craziest cases because sometimes like that was her kid, that she had abused or what have you, and the social worker didn't do what they needed to do, and they had family maintenance. I think they had family preservation or something like that. So
Yep.
there should have been a worker going out there all the time, and so there was really a serious drop the ball on that. I have a case that I find crazy interesting. Um, my client is the victim of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She left her home state because she went into a shelter. And this guy is very charming and sweet talker, as DV guys can be,
Yep.
and they also manipulate the social workers a lot of times, sometimes too. You think the social workers didn't go to college, but
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
They didn't.
so this guy, he's the non-offending father, of course. So everything goes wonderful for him because he's a non-offending father. All I got to do is knock on the door. I didn't raise this kid. I didn't do anything, but I'm going to come get this baby. And that's the way the Wick Code allows for stuff like that, which is crazy. I don't know if you all know that, but if you have, let's say, like this case, this woman left because this was going on and there was DV out there, and now we're here, and it's a couple of years later. It's not like right after the fact, but still, nonetheless, she leaves because she's afraid over there, gets into something over here, and they remove from her, and then they want to just give straight over to this to this man. And she has shown to the department videos of this guy not putting the kids in the car seat. And she's all, fool, you're going to be having my sons without a car seat. She has it recorded. Then there was an issue about whether or not dad secured his guns properly, right? So he goes off and he shows the social worker who likes him already
Yeah.
a picture of a gun in a safe and everything's fine. There's no problem here, right? My client shows this person, this guy firing a gun in a car, like right out the car window, right? Reckless behavior. Then he also thinks it's funny to come up behind his brother and point the gun at his head.
Oh my God.
But the social worker didn't think that was important to include in the report, and she still wants to send these kids to that man. That's how much she doesn't like my client. Ridiculous.
But wait a minute. But they don't like women what I've noticed is they're retaliating against women.
A lot of
Mostly.
times. I mean,
Most
you're supposed,
women.
and there's cases about, victim of domestic violence. That shouldn't be happening. If you're a victim, help me. Don't say I failed to protect my children because of this, because they want, the thing I find crazy is that they want you to understand the real mental, emotional thing that goes behind domestic violence, but yet they don't seem to understand it themselves.
No, they don't.
Right?
They don't.
You do talk to the man that hurt you. You do find it difficult because DCFS will come do this to you. You're already struggling. You guys are arguing, fighting. Let's say this man doesn't even hit you. You're just arguing, yelling a lot, financial things.
Mental.
Whatever it is, but yeah, it's TV still.
Yeah.
Cops come and all of a sudden they want to take from you too, and it's just wrong because they reach too far on some people and they look the other way for other people. And I know, that all breaks down to we're all human, right? I mean, you can get a judge on a bad day and forget it. The answer is going to be no matter, what you ask for sometimes, because guess what? Sometimes they don't take the human component out of it and, just do their job. They do it, but you know what? Sometimes that benefits you too, though, because I have pulled a lot of heartstrings on the judges. When I'm talking about getting my babies back, getting them back to my family. Look at what this mom's done. Look at and it's possible, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for the parent to get their child back, and it's a lot of work for the attorney to fight to get the kids back, and it's a lot of work for loving relatives who want their grandbabies, and the department puts up an obstacle for it. And
Wow.
they are in agreement with it sometimes. I had an approved ICPC just the other day out in San Diego. There was the agency was in agreement with placing the child with the grandparents in another state. It was already okay. Send the baby. And the foster parents went and got an attorney, filed a de facto, and now they want the kid.
See, that's that part right there. Why are they so involved? Why are they so freaking involved with the maternal parents of the children?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense to me. And how can the state allow such crap happening?
Because it's your job. When you're the foster parent, this is your job. You take a good. I just got a kitty. As a matter of fact, I got to foster this little kitty. It's gonna break my heart when I give the kitty back, but you know what? It's not mine.
I know.
It's not just the way these babies. They're not theirs.
Exactly.
And you grow an attachment and a love. And thank you for loving my child, so he didn't feel abandoned when all of this happened. But give him back.
Mm-hmm.
And encourage family. Encourage it. Don't discourage it. Because too many times it's like, there should be more of, your mom's working hard to do this, or your so-and-so's working hard, or when the social workers say, oh, I asked the child if they wanted to see their mother more and they just said no. Well, and that's one line. Every month they're supposed to check on these children. One line about whether or not they're enjoying it or not. No. You decided that these kids were not safe in the home of their biological parents. So now you go make sure that they're safe in the homes that you put them in. And they don't. They don't always. Or they put them in foster homes where you don't know what their motive is. Some motives are good. Some motives are bad.
Mostly bad. Mostly.
A lot of people just care about the money, the check.
Yeah.
And now, oh God, did you know that they still give you money if you adopt them?
Yes, I knew that. I said that on the show.
Where did that come from?
They'll give you money if you adopt the child.
And you know why they do that? Because it closes the door for a parent to come back on a 388 if they put them in a guardianship. That's how they get rid of you. Right? Because before, some people would say, well, no, I don't want to adopt because then I'm going to have to pay for everything. And, if I do this guardianship, they'll give me the money still. And so I can, but now they don't want the parents to come back, file that 388, get a chance to get their child back. I don't know why, but we'd rather give you
the money
to adopt. That doesn't sound right. When you adopt something, that means the forms themselves say that you're going to treat this person like your own child, that they're entitled to the same inheritance, everything, and you are obligated to provide for them in the same way you would any other child. And that doesn't mean that the department helps you.
No.
It's wrong. It's incentive for people to want to take your baby. It's wrong. Sorry.
Exactly, but it wasn't like that before, though. It wasn't. It wasn't like that before. It only became like that. I'm sorry, what, Elizabeth?
I want to say
2008?
Maybe.
Because that's when Hillary Clinton took office with Obama.
I was going to say it has to do with the Clintons.
Yep,
Did you take the chicken out, Shane?
It's always the Clintons. It's always the Clintons, I mean. Yeah. So it's kind of the Clintons. I say this. The Clintons have blood on their hands. They really do.
A lot of it.
And a lot of people, don't understand that everything shifted worse, more funding, more everything when Obama and Hillary were in office.
Well, don't get me political, because I think that there's a lot of, not only that, there's a lot of disparity. You've got counties that For instance, Los Angeles County is the biggest county there is. We've got, 25 courtrooms in Monterey Park alone.
Yeah.
We've got 3 courtrooms, I believe, in Lancaster, 2 in Lancaster. And now they set up a satellite courtroom in Pomona as well. So we've got about 29, something like that.
That's a
courtrooms.
lot. That's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot. That means they've got a lot of hands in a lot
Man.
of people's lives. Number one problem. Number two, those people don't get their services paid for. But you know what? If you're in San Bernardino and they ordered you to do some services, they'll pay for a 12-week DV program. They'll pay for, and that also means that they give you less of a sentence, I want to put it, because they have to pay for it. So where they're going to make you in LA do a 52-week DV class, maybe in another county where they're paying for it, guess what? They're going to accept a 12-week program. That's unfair.
That is
I
not
wish that there would be like a big class action suit against the county of Los Angeles, because I think that they are totally in the wrong, and that how can you call that equal? That's not
equal.
separate and equal. That's
No.
totally wrong. It's just it's
And
not
they-
fair.
And they judge people based on their appearance. What I've noticed,
Your
and
appearance,
they
your
high five each other, in the hallway of the court when a mother is grieving or a parent is grieving. They high five each other, and like literally in front of the parents. It's like sticking it to them.
salt
And
in the wound.
Right. If the mother is African American, or if the mother looks black, or if the mother is Latina, or the mother is Asian, or the mother is whatever, they retaliate against them based on race, based on color, based on hair type,
Well,
based
look,
on your devotion to Trump. If you're a Trump supporter, like this social worker lived across the street from one of our clients, and guess what? She took her children because she said, "I support Trump 2024."
I support him, but I wouldn't take her kids.
I
But I
support
don't
him
like
too.
Biden. That's why.
I hate Biden. And Biden knows I hate him, but I really hate that guy, him and the vice president. But what I'm saying is that
Well, look, at when I
retaliate against people because of that, Elizabeth. That's why I love you, because you speak your mind. Now,
in Monterey Park, I actually went to court one day, and I remember I shared it with one of my colleagues. I said, he's all, "What's wrong?" You look down, and I was crying. And he's all, "What are you crying?" I go, "Because I'm tired of seeing my gente here. So tired of it, man. All I do is turn around, I see Latino people everywhere, or Black people." That was what the courthouse is filled with,
Yep.
at least in Monterey Park.
Monterey Park is the whorehouse, I call it. It's the whorehouse. And I say that on my shows. There are horrible in Monterey Park.
You know what? Let me tell you, the only good thing you get out of Monterey Park.
Nothing, Elizabeth.
No, you need to take this into consideration.
What?
They have more courtrooms. So you get to no, listen to me.
I'm gonna kick your butt after the show, but no.
No, you get to paper your judge at least. Think about how that works in the long run. Okay. What I'm getting at is this. When you go to, for instance, I've gone to Indio, one courtroom. What you gonna do when that's the only judge that's there? Not even a shot at it. You know what I mean? Like, at least in Monterey Park, you get to paper. You get a different option. You might not always get the next one. That's another one. But then guess what? There's as many attorneys as there is. Each one of us gets to paper. And so it'll get us into a different courtroom. And that's always the goal, to trying to get into the better courtroom. Because at the end of the day, that judge is going to make the decisions. And so that's the only advantage that I see from that place. And I think that anybody that is stuck with a one judge kind of courthouse would agree with me.
Yep, I agree. That's what we have here.
Auntie Barb, that's her.
One judge, 4 hours a week. That's it.
Yeah. But I understand, Elizabeth. But when all judges are corrupt, it's kind of hard. Come on.
That's because you know what? There's a lot of I've seen a lot of different people on the bench lately. I don't know how they are. I haven't been in front of a lot of them yet. I know what you're saying. They get jaded they get jaded by things, but there are some judges that still can open their heart and their mind. And I do appreciate that. And there's a few of them that work at Monterey Park. I'm going to throw a shout out to Judge Annabelle Cortez, because I think she's an amazing judge. Judge Gabriela Shapiro. She's a new ICWA judge out there. She replaced Padilla, who was little cuckoo. Sorry, Judge Padilla, but you know how you could be.
I just love you. Oh my God, I love you. Okay.
But you've got to at the end of the day, you get a better result with fighting hard, working hard, and having good relationships. That's the truth, right? Flies with sugar. Sometimes people like you better than others, and that all plays out even in your cases, in your case plan.
But to me, this is the thing with me. I didn't live with Dr. Fowler. I don't live with Darren. I don't live with Auntie Barb, right? And they're all looked at as the perpetrators, the bad people. They can't have their kids because they're bad people, right? They shouldn't be around them. But who are you to judge them when you don't even know them?
That's the problem that I find too. And you know what? That's why when you get a court-appointed attorney, you don't get the best. And it's not because they're not smart people. Everybody had to pass the bar. You know what I mean?
Please,
But
Elizabeth, come on.
No, but here's the problem. If you just read a report and you get the impression of the person of the report, is it good? No, they're written to detain, right? So they're written to be negative about you.
They
But
lie, Elizabeth. They
what
lie
I'm
about what
saying
the
is
detective said,
you
what the police
spend,
officer said.
but if you actually give your client the time of day and you sit with them and you talk to them, 9 times out of 10, they're not the person that's in that report.
Oh my God.
They're, and it's my job to show the court that person that I met in the room over here, as opposed to the one that's in this paper that you're talking about.
That's the right way to do it, Elizabeth. But they don't do that. They look at parents and as right away they say, if you sign here that you plead guilty, right? You're gonna I'll get you your children back. And most of the parents literally sign because they're desperate. They're so tired of the long wait and the trauma they put them through. They end up signing and then they come back and say, well, sorry, you're not going to get your kids back. But you plead guilty. They're
right. Because that'll be like, well, we just sustained the petition on the parents. They did the, physical abuse, blah, 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 blah. That's why,
see what
every case is different. Every case is different. And sometimes when you have a client, and let's say the facts are there and they were going to remove, and you've got to do, let's make it easy, a drug program. Okay. Drug route. If you've got a client that is ready to be sober and is ready to do this, you as their attorney can get them a case plan that is more tailored. It doesn't have as many things for them to do, because if you've got to do 10 things, you're not going to finish, or it's more than likely it's going to be hard. But if your lawyer can get you to do 3 things, maybe you could do those 3 things. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we do settle a petition, but it should always be with a reward of having less in your case plan, or maybe return home. When you're negotiating with the department, you gotta look out for what's best and what's going to be doable for your client. And that's why your client has to be honest with you, so you can communicate about what can you do. Can you do these classes? Are you going to be able to do them?
Right. But what about if the client says, I work, and she does work every day, and the social workers are trying to get her fired from her job? So basically, they want her to stop work whenever they feel like it, and she has to do those classes, which is it's not gonna allow her to work. So
are the kids in her care or out of her care?
Out of her care. Okay. They took her kids without a warrant.
First of all, if her kids are out of her care, I wouldn't worry about this woman so much, because the bottom line is, I mean, for her job, right? I'm not going to lose
Yeah,
my job if I already don't have my kids. I need this job to pay for whatever it is that I need to fight for my kids.
right.
You know, I mean,
But she
there's
no. They took her kids without a warrant, and she works daily, meaning she's a single mom. She supports herself. The only reason they took her children is because she left them with the babysitter. She has a stay-home babysitter, and the babysitter dropped the baby. That was a 11 months old baby. Dropped him on the floor,
oh,
and then she
this is a
called the
shaken
mom.
baby kind of case.
No.
Well, it's not shaken, but
But
it's an
yeah,
E
like
case.
an
It's a,
injury or something. Well, not even an injury. What happened was she called the mother at work and said, "Hey, Miss So and So, I dropped the baby by accident. What should I do?" She said, "I'm coming home right now. We're going to take him to the hospital." So she
mhm.
took him to the hospital. Then DHS got involved, and then they went and removed the baby from the house at 2:30 in the morning without a warrant. Elizabeth, this is
The
in
same
LA
day.
County. The same day. The same day, Elizabeth.
That's kind of unusual. They should get the warrant, even though it's emergency.
They
You
get
know
the
what I
warrant
mean?
after Elizabeth. After Elizabeth. They get the warrant after. I don't think Dr. Fowler, did they even show you a warrant when you were taking care of your
Absolutely,
grandson?
absolutely not.
See? They don't show us a warrant. You know, Dr.
That,
Fowler is very educated, by the way. I know you don't know her, but this woman is brilliant. Like, I don't understand. Like, I still don't get how. You know, they can just remove children from her, from Auntie Barb and Darren and his wife. I don't get it. They're good people. They're good parents. They're a good example.
This
So
is
you
why
tell
I
me, how are they going to defend themselves when they come in without a warrant? So please explain that. How are they going to do that? They get the warrant after. So what it
well,
is, social workers get it after.
I
if at
mean
all.
that's the problem. I mean, and that's why this is a I don't want to say it's a unique case. I'm sure it happens a lot. I've heard
Yep.
other clients tell me that too.
Yep.
You know, or like let's say somebody has a new baby and they had DCFS history, they come and just take the baby and they don't
Yeah.
even have any thing on that baby. That baby is not jurisdictional, you know, but these people are getting away with this. They're getting away with it and it happens too much, you know, and we just gotta, you know, we gotta take care of our kids. We gotta do something about this system. I don't know how we can.
Well, Elizabeth,
I've been trying, you know, I try
you know
my
how.
best
We're
to
going to do
get
it. Yeah.
what I can, and I urge you guys all to do something about
We're going to do something.
changing the system. You
Yeah.
know, I'm defending what I can in the system while I'm here, and that's already got my hands full. But yeah, I need other people to reach out and try and just change. You know, when I used to work for the court appointed thing, they actually did have I didn't ever join it because I didn't think it was worth my time, but they actually did have a panel of the parents attorneys that would get together to propose a new legislature for, you know, on behalf of the parents, because everything is always ideally for I mean, it is for the kids. I get it, you know, but you have a constitutional right to family, you know, that is protected by the Constitution, marriage and family, and all of those things. They're very important. And I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing this until they don't do it anymore. I don't know when that'll
Elizabeth,
be.
I hate to tell you this, but my gang already know. There is a social worker that used to work for the department, and she contacted me a while back, and I didn't believe her at first. I thought it was just a social worker trying to, uh, like she's still currently a social worker, etc. So, anyways, I met her at Starbucks, and then she started crying. So she was like weeping, and she said, Georgette, I worked for them, and I got in it because I wanted to make a difference and whatever. And then she said, I found out the ugly truth. So basically, when she finished training, she went to work in that department. Okay. And the department supervisor said to her, what you learned in training doesn't apply here. So you listen to me. You do what I tell you to do.
Mm.
So what she did, she had a company phone. She started taking screenshots of, of everything that the supervisor would tell her. And she literally showed me her onboarding paperwork, when she get hired and all that. So I checked everything out. It was legit. She did quit. She resigned, but she's afraid to come on. She's afraid to show who she is because she's afraid they're gonna retaliate against her family, because she has siblings and you know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a shame that any of us,
Mm-hmm,
okay, that we live in a system
mm-hmm.
that if somebody doesn't like you, they can just call up. Like I'm telling you to call to get the adoptive parents in trouble, because I know, because somebody could just call and say, you know what? I saw Miss Jacobo, da 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 da. Believe me, I don't even like to tell. I don't have any minor children because you don't want anybody, reporting on you.
Yeah,
It's
but you don't have
crazy.
any minor children. Yeah.
It's crazy that we have a system that we got to be afraid of things like that. That
Mm-hmm.
your neighbor could just, and the worst part is when you go to court and they don't believe that that's really what's happening here. But it is happening here, because you know what? Sometimes, I grew up in the barrio, and you know what? A lot of times all we have is to pick on each other, you know? And some people really do that. They really
They
do.
enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm telling you, they enjoy it. Like when she was telling
Yes,
stuff.
they enjoy it.
Yeah,
They're awful and mean and vindictful, but there's people out there and they do that. And here goes the department taking away children based on somebody's,
call.
fight. Yeah.
Hmm. Or an
Because
ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife or
a
a
new baby daddy, a new whatever it
yeah,
is,
like in Darren's situation, they don't like his wife, or you know what, I don't like you, Darren, even though we're family. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I mean, this man has gone through so much with his wife. I mean, they're still together, thank God. But just to have that one child, they raised already an adult child, right? They have this young, beautiful Nina is her name. And when I tell you this man is a loving father, a loving dad, I shouldn't call him a father because anybody can be a father, but he's a loving dad and she's a loving mom, his wife. That's Nina.
Oh,
And she was so healthy, Elizabeth, so healthy. Their only child that's young, and they have an older child, like I said, if they were neglectful, they would not, that older child wouldn't be present, you
so
know?
you don't have that baby anymore, Darren?
No, he lost her.
No, no,
Go ahead, Darren, speak up.
no. So this is funny right here. It says just this. This is verbatim from the letter I'm reading right here. It says this assessment has resulted in the decision that you did abuse or neglect a child. It may be difficult to see in writing very specific information about the facts that led to this decision. We recognize that families have important strengths that they can call upon to help create a safe home for their children. Darren Guay is substantiated for high severity neglect to Nina Guay. This means that. But then I said, wait a minute. So you just said right here that either I did something so atrocious, which my stuff was all allegations that were dismissed by the state and had nothing to do with the child whatsoever. It was an action outside of that, which didn't take place. It was all an allegation. But then I asked the lady that the district manager lady or whoever she is in their department, I said, well, what does this mean? She told me this. The section in the findings letter that states it may be difficult to see this information in writing means we understand that getting a notice of child abuse finding is difficult emotionally to read. That was it. It does not mean that facts are difficult to put in writing. I hope that helps clarify your question. That's what they're, let me see, she was the program administrator. That's what she's wrote me back with this. So they took this little bit of what they just said there, where they said they don't have shit, right to TPR. TPR'd us, lost the appeal, and now we're trying to appeal the appeal, and it's just insanity. Just
Did they give
absolute insanity.
Did they bypass you? Did they give you services? What did they do?
We did everything that we were supposed to. We were one of those people that we did what we were supposed to, which we didn't want to do, but we did what the case itself is crazy, and Miss G could tell you about that. But like I said,
I've known him and his wife for 4 years. And just real quick, Darren, I'm sorry to interrupt you, baby.
Mhm. Yeah.
I've known them for 4 years. I've seen pictures of Nina playing, being happy.
She's
In fact,
beautiful.
before they moved, she's gorgeous, Elizabeth. Oh my God. Before, an hour before they removed her, she was playing with Darren. And there was a picture of her and Darren like playing. She looks so healthy and so beautiful and so vibrant. And they just snatched his daughter.
Well, because they don't, that's why all these things are private proceedings, because they don't want anybody to see what's really happening. If we were to, sometimes I wish we had a show, she's beautiful. How they have
that's right before
live legal shows that they do all the time, or if they had a show like a Law and Order about this,
so
people would care. People don't care because it doesn't affect them. The ones that it doesn't affect,
so here's
they
the
don't care.
kicker.
They think you're a loser already. You shouldn't have been them in the first place.
I say this all the time. It's the stigma that goes with this. No one wants to help you. They don't. You get nobody. You isolate yourself. There's nobody out there for you. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people. Whenever it would come out of someone's mouth, DHS got my kid. You didn't even get that much out, and I'm turning and I'm walking the other way because I'm like, what a maggot piece of crap that person must be. And I feel so bad for all the people that I have done, and I've turned my back on them and done that because it's not true. It's not true. They are taking children from middle class, good homes, healthy kids. I mean, let's be honest. That's probably what you're seeing, right? That's what's engulfing it is. And what are they hiding it? They're saying, oh, it's drugs, right? Because they're getting such loose ends and loose things that they can handle that with. They're like, oh, well, it's this because they can finagle the drug test so that they work in their favor.
Let me tell you something. Not only that, like pot is legal today. It really is. And I still see parents that are getting their kids removed from them just based on that. And
so mine was, I started a podcast because I didn't believe in what they did. So I start this podcast. I actually told, whether people say I'm an idiot for doing this or not, they would have found out, obviously. But I actually contacted them when I released my first episode because I didn't want any crap between anybody. Here it is. If you say you're transparent, I'm transparent too. So I did this. Now, this was coming up when it was, we had that real bad COVID outbreak in 21 in New York where kids were actually getting sick again and everything. Well, my daughter was going there with her foster family. So I pulled an emergency meeting and I said, whoa. I do not want to have this happen because there's too much, all of this
you raised
going on.
An objection to her going.
Right. And so I'm in there and I'm in this meeting and I'm like, see, I'm going to show these people, like who's the responsible dad and all this, that's what I'm thinking in my mind, doing the right thing. Like who would have thought? I go in there, there's the attorney general, the caseworker, the caseworker's manager, the guardian ad litem. There was a couple other people as well. All of them sat there and they slammed me for 30 minutes and they stopped me from seeing my daughter. And that was the last time I ever saw her. Had nothing to do with the meeting. It had all to do with the podcast that I did. Then the caseworker went and got a restraining order on me. Because this goes to what we said. They got a restraining order and still kept being in charge of our investigation throughout the case.
That's absolutely wrong.
I sent a letter. I said, how is this not biased now? This is absolute bullshit. And it was the judge. So the judge that gave them the restraining order was the judge that was in our TPR hearing. And of course, we asked her to step down and she said, no, I don't have to do that. Even though that was a civil case when it wasn't the state against me and the attorney general representing her. It was caseworker versus me. And I don't mean in caseworker. I'm just not going to say her name because I don't need any more shit. But herself and versus me. But the attorney general from the state of Maine came and represented her in that case while I sat there alone. Got that order on me. And it was all because they tried to say, oh, well, you domestic abuse your wife. Like they throw these things in your face. There's no domestic abuse. The thing that they're talking about, they said I ripped the phone from her one day. I ripped the phone from her. I'll tell you what, she threw the phone at me the morning after they came and took her. They wanted us to have a meeting over Zoom to talk to the foster, the in-between parents, whatever the heck they want to call them, where they took her. And my wife was so upset. She wanted nothing to do with it. She didn't want to talk to them. She didn't want to see Nina that way. So when they said, hey, oh, like, can Mary talk to whatever? Mary threw the phone at me. And then I got on the phone. I'm like, she has nothing to say to you or whatever. Well, they took that. Like, obviously, they didn't see her throw it. She threw it at me. I picked up the phone. Oh, I ripped the phone from her. I'm a domestic abuser now, and all of this stuff. Even though she's going over and over and over and saying this isn't happening. 5 counselors she went through in the 2 years we've been doing this. 5 of them, all of them stating that there's no domestic abuse, there's no drug and alcohol abuse, there's no nothing. The only problem is that the fucking state took Nina away from us. That was the only problem. And that's what all of them said. My counselor came in. I was with her for 2 years. She comes into the TPR. Darren's fine. He doesn't need anything. Everything's great. All of this shit. Nope. But they come up and then they put those allegations on me. They do the inference. The judge can get an inference from my allegations, which they were armed robbery. That was what I was alleged for doing, which the state dismissed all the charges because it wasn't what it was. But that's what even brought them in and all this. So they sit there, find me guilty, guilty, guilty. The judge uses her adverse inference, finding me guilty on all charges. That's what the case was based on. There was nothing even about my daughter in our TPR case.
There needs to be a nexus. You know, there needs to be a nexus between any conduct that they're saying. That's why a lot of times, even my drug cases, there could be some bias because you know what? If you're, let's say you're smoking pot, and you know, you come up and if you were to be tested, it's going to come up. But you know, your kid goes to school, they're getting good grade. There's no thing to show that because you do this is messing up your kid. And
right.
you know, the
nothing
law,
that says it reflects you as being a parent.
Exactly. And that's what, you know, that should be the only reason that the state should come and take your children or even try to intervene in your life is if they see that something that you're doing is harming your kid.
Right.
There needs to be a connection. If there's no harm, like it doesn't sound like Nina was harmed in the fact that you had charges dropped, but you were arrested in the first place. How was she harmed in that?
Right. There was none. Nothing. She was barely even brought up in the TPR. This is the crazy thing. It was like I was on a pre-trial for a trial. And then guess what? 45 days it took the judge to make this decision. 45 days to come back and give us a decision. All of my criminal allegation cases get pushed back. They got continued. I had been waiting for a jury trial for 2 years. 2 years. Wow. They got pushed back. My decision comes out. Boom. All of a sudden I can go for the jury selection. We go to the jury selection. We're dismissing all your charges.
So it just was to keep you looking bad before you got your rights terminated, and then that went away. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. He's going to go to jail, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah, and that's what they do with everybody. I mean, it's God. I love Darren and his wife, Elizabeth. I love those. Like Darren is my brother, like literally a brother, just from another mother and father. They're good people. When I tell you they're good people, I used to talk to them until 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. We used to video each other, you know, like FaceTime each other. And these people,
you know, you need somebody that has gone through what you've gone through to understand, because most people don't understand.
They don't care.
And they judge.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what.
Oh, so this judge, that same judge. So this is the only like good wholeheartedness I get out of this. We're sitting in the courtroom, and my attorney comes out and he goes, "Man," he goes, "I don't know what's going on between you and this judge, but she said that she'll recuse herself." I said, "She will recuse herself." And it was the same judge that's been through this whole thing. I said, no, sir. She gets to sit on that bench and she gets to announce all of these charges because I knew now that she had said on her adverse inference that I was guilty of everything. And she was the same one that got to read right there that I was dismissed. You know, and that's the other thing is that she had that case prior to where we were with the caseworker for the.
So this judge not only did DCFS stuff, but she did criminal stuff.
Yeah, criminal and then the civil stuff too, apparently, yes.
Wow, that's insane. See, other states are different, and that's even crazier than anything I've seen.
Yeah, and then we just did that. We ruled that. We tried to get that in the appeals, saying like, look, she should have sat because that was the first thing my public pretender did, you know, was ask, which I was surprised he even had the balls to do that. But he did do that, and she came back and said nope. She thinks that she can rule fairly, but because there was whatever, it's all malarkey up to this point, But there's just the caseworker. Her father was the former attorney general for the OCFS office, so all the people that were sitting there now was the predecessors. We were never going to win that case.
It's always, you know what, when the cases are really bad, that's exactly when they are like that. They are somehow related to somebody, or they, it's very connected, and people will tell you because nobody believes it. Like it,
right? They think we're Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
they think tinfoil hat.
They'll say, "Well, don't you know that the worker is married to something?" You know what I mean? And it'll be like, "Oh, please, come on." That's what most people agree.
The attorney general that tried us was her freaking predecessor from her father.
Yeah.
She was 23. We were the first case to get after she got out of college. She was the one that came when the state of Maine had just been audited and they implemented the new program. She was the golden child to come in and make this go through because she's obviously using that position of a stepping stone. It was an easy get. It was a guy facing 17 felony charges with these horrid allegations of armed robbery and so on and so forth, which none were true. None were even close to that. I mean, I walked away, so that should tell you something.
Right.
And so it was a no-brainer for this girl to come in and win.
Yeah.
So as soon as they saw that there was problems, that was when it was time to, they got me for threatening her because I said, in the words of Les Brown, it's not over until I win. And I said, in one of my podcasts, I said, it's not over until I win. I said, they're going to pull out these brakes. So now it's time for me to put the gloves on. And they said that was me threatening the caseworker.
That just means you're going to fight.
Yeah.
But did you see how they switched?
Yeah.
How they twisted it though?
Well, you know what? Like that it's just like that case that I told you about with the gun shooting and the one pointing it or whatever. If my client would have been the one that they had with the gun and the shooting, that would have been in the report because they've already decided that they didn't like her and they like, the dad. And that's how it can be. It's just so favorable. Anyway, guys, I am so sorry, but I've got to go now. I don't know if you're expected to stay any longer, but I don't know if I told you I'm fostering a kitty and it's time to feed him.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
I don't want to see.
If we can have you on the show again, there's 2 more questions. I know you have to go. But
Okay, go ahead. Give me
you answer Trent Dancy's question, and then Auntie Barbara has another question, but that's it. And then you can go.
Okay, Trent is asking what?
Go ahead, Darren. My eyes are killing me.
It says, did we as parents agree when we applied for a social security number for our children? What does that mean?
I think she's looking for the whole jurisdiction thing where did that give a jurisdiction for the state to have? What gives the state plausible? I think what she's looking for, because some people say the marriage license did it because you bind it with a contract and then the state has, jurisdiction over your child because
baby's born.
No. He's asking once you sign the birth certificate and have a social security number for the child, do they belong to the state? Is that why they belong to the state? If they don't,
that's what
don't do that. Oh, sorry, baby. If you don't do that, then if you don't sign the birth certificate, you don't have a social security for the child. Can the state be involved?
Yes, because you've got. How about the children that come over here and they're illegal, right? And they don't
from the border.
They don't have a social security number. They don't have any of those things. But yet they're still here because the jurisdiction is over the child as long as there is a child in that state. So it's not necessarily the social security number that triggers it. Maybe that's a means to track people just the way it tracks all of us, right? Mm-hmm. Because I do know that, for instance, with kids that don't have a social security number when they come into the system, I do know that the department helps them get one.
Wow.
So how is it that they get? So how? Say that again. They get jurisdiction of them. How if there's a kid in that state? It's just because they're a child in that state. Say that again.
So let's say it's California, and you've got a mom that comes over to live here, and she's got kids that are under the age of 18. They start going to school, what have you, because you don't have to be here legally to do that. They can still have them, the kids get removed, let's say it's physical abuse allegation or something to that effect. When the kids are once they're in the system, let's say they've already detained them, they removed them from the parent, then I know that before they return them, they usually do get them a green card or try to get their status, fixed for them. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, but that's something that does take place if you have a child that's undocumented. So I don't believe that the social security number is the trigger. The bottom line is just giving birth in, anywhere, having that baby, there being a record of this child is good enough.
Okay, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Now, Auntie Barb has this. Oh, oh my God, I swear. Well, if a social worker forces children to stay in a foster house that was deemed unsafe by the state, can that social worker face charges for what happens to the children while in that foster house?
Well, there shouldn't be any placement if they didn't pass RFA. So
But
if the child is there and there's no RFA, that's an illegal placement. They call it an illegal placement.
No, it was a fully functioning foster home, and through an investigation by the state found it to be unsafe and other issues too. And CPS forced the children to stay in that house for another 6 months after the state says no, it's unsafe. Can the social worker be held legally responsible for what happens to the children during that time period after the state said it's unsafe and you should shut it down?
I don't know if the social worker is the one directly, but I do think that there may be a possible lawsuit in leaving children someplace that has already found to be unfit, and then that they, as the entity that's in charge, doesn't do anything about it, then I would think they could be sued for that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's criminal, but it sounds civil at
The things
least.
that happened to the children were criminal.
Yeah.
Just
I don't do criminal law, so I don't know too much.
But see, that's exactly what I was telling you guys earlier before. I mean, is that we have sets of attorneys in our office that's criminal, family law, and juvenile. And Elizabeth just made a point. She's not criminal attorney. So that's why it's very important for you guys to know who you're hiring for your juvenile dependency case.
Yeah.
You can't go hire a criminal attorney and a family law attorney to handle your case and then come cry to us when they don't know what they're doing. Am I right, Elizabeth? I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and just for experience, I know too, because believe me, once you pass the bar, everybody in your family wants you to help them too, right? And
I
it's
know.
like, I don't know how to do everything, guys. Like, you're gonna give me that, and you may be years before you're divorced. I don't know.
Exactly. Now go feed your kitten. But we
That's
would love
right.
to have you
Okay.
again, Elizabeth. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. It was great
All
to
right.
be with you guys.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Elizabeth. Bye. Okay. Isn't she great?
Mm-hmm. And I truly appreciate her saying, that's not her area of expertise. How many of us have gone to family attorneys or these criminal defense attorneys they have representing the parents in court who won't admit they don't understand juvenile dependency court? I truly appreciate her saying, hey, that's not my area of expertise. That's honesty.
She
You
does
don't get
that
that
with
in juvenile
everybody,
court.
by the way.
Yeah.
When people approach her, they're like, "Oh, we need help in this." I'm like, she's like, "No, I'm sorry, I can't give you advice, and that's not. I don't know anything about family law. Like, you guys need to call somebody who understands." But other attorneys, they take small retainers from people and tell them they can help them. That's the point I'm trying to make. It happened with Dr. Fowler.
Mhm.
It's been happening with her. This is ridiculous. And Dr. Fowler, just so you know, I spoke to an attorney today. He's in New York, and I'm gonna have him on the show with us next week. And I asked him about you. And I'm trying to get you an attorney that's legit to take on your case because you seriously have a great case, and I have been thinking about your case. That's why I always mention it. Um, you don't deserve this. I'm very upset. I'm doing the same thing for Darren and Auntie Barb. Um, I want you guys to win. I want a success story. I want I want you to have your grandchild back, like 100%. And Darren, I want Nina back in your life, and Auntie Barb, I want your niece back in your life. And I have called
Yes,
so
ma'am.
many attorneys for you and Dr. Fowler, but me and Michael are going to we're going to come up with something. All right. So don't lose hope. You're very welcome, Doctor. I've always loved you. And Barb, I've always loved you too. And Darren, you're my brother. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
yes, you
Hey,
are.
James, I need to get in touch with you too. I'm just going by his comments. So James, you hearing me? I need to be in touch with you. So get a hold of me on Messenger.
You know what, James? You're very hard to James. We need you on this show. Like we
Yeah, so
need
get
your
in
voice
touch with
on
me. You
this
know how to
show.
get in touch with me on Messenger.
But Darren, didn't you give him your phone number?
Well, the last time him and I had a talk, it was well,
It
whatever.
was
We'll leave it
bad
at that.
connection.
It
But
would have been
you know
good for
what,
the show.
James, just get a hold of Darren or James. I think you have my cell number, dude. Just text me
Yeah, I
or
got him
something.
already. I got him.
Oh, you got him?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah.
got him.
We need your voice on this show, definitely, James, because you are very aware of all the corruption going on. And Dr. Fowler, I'm gonna have some kind of answer for you by the end of this week. So, and Auntie Barb, I haven't discussed your matter yet with Davis because he's been in court all week. So let's discuss maybe tonight around 9 o'clock, if you don't mind. If you can call me, that'd be
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And
Yes,
Darren
ma'am.
Pitbull. Hello. We should give
Yeah,
Darren a
I'm here.
Pitbull name.
What do you
Darren.
think? I'm here.
What, the Pitbull? It's you. You look like a Pitbull.
I just look good. That's what I know.
You look good. Dr. Fowler loves you. I can tell because she is like your number one supporter. Everything. But yes,
I
yes,
do.
yeah. I know you do. I can tell. But Darren, you are very handsome, dude. Very handsome. Yeah. What does that say?
It
Do
says
not
warning,
touch
do
my
not touch my
tools or
tools or
my.
my daughter.
Is that the one you're selling on your web on
No,
your
no, no,
store?
not this one. This one, Mary got this one for me a long time ago, actually. Um,
Oh.
but yeah, that was that. But yes, um, that will be up by this weekend too because I've switched it. We should have, but it'll be abolishcps.com is what it will be now,
Are
and
we?
everything will
Are
be
we?
there.
We posted your website
Yeah,
for
I
the.
know. I wasn't even thinking because I switched it because now, like I said, I bought this new domain, so it's Abolish CPS. It's a whole new platform. It's got all kinds of rooms for blogs and all kinds of stuff on it. So it'll be really cool. It's not just a Shopify store. So I'll have that up by the end of the weekend,
Yes, and we
and
need that,
we'll be
guys,
back so
because
we can all get some of this apparel because it's
we
good
need
stuff.
to we all need to order something and wear it. Like literally, that's a support right there. You want to bring awareness everywhere, especially the American people that don't understand, you guys. They don't
Yep.
understand that people like Dr. Fowler is innocent and Auntie Barb and um oh and Pitbull. He's still Pitbull to me, James. So he's not a puppy,
I'm a
honey.
puppy, James says.
No, he's a Pitbull, James. But
Yeah.
anyways, we
He's
can have
cute
two
too. Look
Pitbulls.
at
You can
Darren.
do
He's so
the
cute.
wait. Darren is the blue nose Pitbull, and you are just a Pitbull, James. Okay, so Darren is the blue nose.
Says
But
I'm prettier, James.
it's a competition, like with Darren.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, but what I was saying, damn it, what I was saying is that people need to be aware because if a person looks at Dr. Fowler and then they find out Dr. Fowler lost her grandson, automatically they're gonna think Dr. Fowler is wrong or she's bad. No, you're mistaken. You're crazy. You're delusional. Because the system wants you to think all these parents are bad, all these grandparents are bad, all these aunts are bad. You know, like Auntie Barb. I don't even know why I call her Auntie Barb, but her name is Barbara. And
That
She
everybody
doesn't
calls
sound
her
the
that.
same.
Auntie. Yeah, I don't know why I call her Auntie Barb.
Well, it
Honestly,
doesn't sound the same when you call her Barbara.
it doesn't sound the same, right? It sounds something is
No.
missing.
Barbara!
I
Sounds
can't,
like Grace! Barbara!
Barbara! Damn it.
It sounds like
Even with Dr. Fowler, I cannot say her like oh my god. She called the office, she
Fowler!
gave her first name. Check this out. I didn't know who she was. And then
Yeah,
Jody's
just
like, oh,
doctor, right?
what was it? Yeah, no. I don't know her first name. I only know her by Dr. Fowler.
Yeah, I
And then
know. I thought that
Jody
was her
in the
first name.
office said, yeah, she's on the phone, this other lady. And I'm like, who is she? And then she's like, well, her name is, what was it? Tatiana or Titiana?
It was Tatiana Navarro. That's
There you
It
go.
is. It
That's
is,
I'm like,
Jordan.
who
my
the
It
heck
is.
is this?
that's
Yeah.
my street name.
See, she has a street name. She's street
What is it?
smart too. Book smart
Tatiana?
and street smart. Yeah. So I was
Wow.
like, who the heck is that, Joni? And she's like, well, I don't know. So I talked to her and I'm like,
I
who
think Miss G
are
wants a
you?
favor.
What? What did you say?
I think Miss G
No,
wants. She keeps talking about Dr. Fowler, how smart she is. You know, she's never said anything nice like that about me, or even Auntie
God,
Barb.
you're talented.
But she's always said it's like
You're
Dr.
talented.
Fowler is just so smart. Does everybody see how smart? Look at her. She just looks smart. Look at her. Look at this woman.
I'm over you right now. I'm literally over you right now. First of all, you are talented. You're smart. You're witty. You are a fighter. I spoke very highly of you with everyone. Everyone.
Yeah,
How could
yes, you did.
even doubt that? And Auntie Barb, Auntie Barb reminds me of a woman that should be in front of the courtroom with a sign.
Yes, she
Auntie
is a sign
Barb,
holder.
join me. That's exactly what Auntie Barb is to me. Dr.
Yep.
Fowler, this is Dr.
She's so
Fowler.
warmy and the blanket behind her.
No,
Definitely.
seriously, this is why I texted you guys. I said, Dr. Fowler, I need a picture of you with books, like library. That's Dr. Fowler to me. With you, I want you, Darren, with the flag behind you, kind of like you present America. You know, Dr. Fowler is kind of like, you know, have you guys read this? Have you guys, you know, kind of like, and then Auntie Barb is more like, join me. I'm Auntie Barb, you know,
Yeah,
right here.
she's
you
very
know?
comfortable. Auntie
Yeah,
Barb
Auntie
is very.
Barb, yeah. So you
I
guys
feel like you're
have
supposed to
your
tell
own
her.
unique abilities and your own unique smartness and your own unique wittiness about you. And but we're all equal. So Darren, don't be jealous. I love you.
I'm not. I'm not.
You're over it, right?
We all
You're
know who.
you're cool.
We all know who rules the roost, Miss G. We know that.
Only God rules. Only God rules. Only God rules.
Yeah, that's
Honestly,
facts.
I'm getting headaches from my eyes, you guys. I am really worried about that. I can't see very well.
Excuse me, Miss G.
Yeah.
As your doctor friend, I have a prescription for you, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
One day you mentioned that you work till 11.
Yes.
Okay, your doctor says, stop that.
Ah,
I want you to figure out a way that you can get your beautiful self in between the sheets with the lights off and no phones thing, by 9 o'clock.
She
No
better
more
stop drinking coffee
messages
first.
at 1 in the morning and 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning. This is
She's a
bad
kitty cat.
for your health. You have
I don't know how to
eat.
not answer the phone though, Auntie Barb. I mean, Auntie Barb. Oh my God.
But right now,
Do you think she sleeps on her couch?
There's a
now-
switch right here that you can mute it.
melanin has to have dark and quiet to
Mhm.
rejuvenate itself.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, everybody has the same amount of melanin, skin, hair, and eye cells. And melanin is what stores energy. And you really have to have dark nighttime, lights off, phone off. This work is critically important, but it isn't worth your life and your health. Go
No, it's
sleep.
not. You're absolutely right.
Turn the lights off, turn the phone off, put it away, say your prayers, drink water, like Abuela taught you to do. Grandmother said drink water before you go to bed, so you'll have clear thoughts. And go to bed and sleep. And
I sleep like 1 hour or
and I
2, 3 max.
and I mean it. I really mean it.
Can you remind me of that,
Yes,
doctor?
I don't worry. Don't. And let me have my little pen. Don't
I
make
want
me.
Don't make me.
Don't
Dr.
make, you remind me to
Dr.
sleep,
Fowler,
doctor,
please
please.
remind me of that. Honest to God, last night I woke up and I found myself on the desk, computers on, and I slept.
Oh
And I
my
woke
God.
up,
Computer
headache, my
lights
neck
mess with
hurts.
your eyes.
That's what's wrong with your eyes. Stop it.
I
Your
know.
eyes are muscles, and you can't overwork them. They need rest. And in addition to that, well, let's get you sleeping first. And then your next prescription is going to be, I want you to go outside and get the smallest ball you can find and figure out how to throw a ball. The smaller it is, the better it is for your visual acuities.
Really?
Yes. Take it from a long-term educator. The first thing I do with children is I find the smallest ball, like I find like the little Jack's ball,
Yes, yeah.
and you throw that for 15 minutes a day, and it gives you remarkable improvement in your visual acuities because your eyes are a muscle, my dear. And muscles atrophy if they don't exercise, my dear.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Is
so
that why I
remember,
have wrinkles too?
wrinkles have
And dark
nothing to do.
circles?
Never mind all that. But you're right. So soon
Is
enough.
that why I have gray hair?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Gray hair is now the trend. So is platinum. We're always at the vanguard.
Oh, okay, I'm on trend, huh?
There you go. That's right. So find a place in your house or somewhere in the parking lot and find a small ball. I mean it. And do it for 5 or 15 minutes a day. It's so essential for all of your visual acuities because remember, the brain is a muscle. It's a muscle mass. It needs exercise. And your eyes are muscular. And if you don't get out and stop looking at the screen and worrying about us and texting everybody at 4 in the morning, lovely, it doesn't bother me. But the first thing I see is I'm concerned for you because why are you up doing this instead of luxuriating in your health and wellness? And watch this. I mean it. I really mean it. I really mean it. So I want you to play ball or even just get some jacks that you can just play at your desk, like little jacks. It will make a difference in your mood and those visual acuities. So your eyes won't be tearing up anymore.
It's very hard to take that because I talk to people all day long.
I know.
And the stories are horrific. They're horrible. Like right here, like Jackie right now, like read this, like literally, I spoke with her last night and she told me her story. And after we spoke, that's it. After I speak with anybody, I feel you guys' pain, then I start crying. And I kid you not, I do cry. I'm not joking. I do cry. I do cry. And I start feeling your pain. And then my brain starts going, what should I do? Who do I call? Okay, well, she doesn't have money to hire. What can be done? And then I go out of my way to try to get Davis to ask questions. And then, you know what I mean? Kind of like, and then I have to call all these other people. And then I have to go back to this person. And then this person. And then this person. And but by the time the night comes, there is no rest because they are desperate for help. And I don't know how to say, and Darren knows this. You know this, Darren, right? I used to call you guys late. I can't hear your butt, Darren.
Yes, we did. We still do sometimes.
Yeah. So that's why it's kind of hard, Dr. Fowler. I kid you not.
Look at her couch.
I want to sleep. I swear.
I know it's hard, but I'm going to think of something later and put you on a program.
Hey,
I'm going to text you or something and make sure. And I mean it. I want the lights off. I want the phone off. I want the TV off. I want all the other stimulus off. And it's going to be hard at first because your whole body is wired towards all of this activity and processing. And you are an angel, but we want you to take care of your source first.
If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be around to help us.
That's right. And I want you
to take care, and we will all understand if there's a delay in your phone returning a call to us because you need to take care of yourself. We all do to keep up this fight.
That's right.
Hey, what if we all stopped answering it when she called late at night?
Even though it looks silly, but it's an old-fashioned thing.
No, because then she would worry about that.
Practice smiling. Even though it looks silly to people when you're around, just practice smiling. When you practice smiling, the smile from the outside really does help your insides. I don't know how else to explain it, but it matters. It makes a difference.
I do smile when somebody's funny about something they say.
True.
But honestly, all day long, I don't smile. I am frustrated. I'm
I
upset.
know.
I am pissed off, and I got really upset yesterday. But you guys don't know that this story right now. I know we're over, but this guy called me. It was 8:15 at night. This person, I'm not gonna say. I mean, okay, he's somebody in a hospital. Somebody in a hospital, and his wife filed a domestic violence against this person, and then they have children. So when they have minor children, I tell them, I said, hey, be careful with CPS because the police usually notify CPS, etc., etc. He got so mad at me. He started cussing me out. He said, I am a
Mm-hmm.
person in the hospital and I am somebody. And I said, with all due respect, so is every parent fighting for their children. He said to me, he said, no, darling, not every parent. I know how CPS operates. I have connection with CPS, he says. And honest to God, when he said that to me, and I'm telling you guys this right now, as God is my witness, it it's like you took a knife and you just stabbed me with it. I kid you not. He was so mean and so arrogant and so cruel that it got to me.
Mm-hmm.
It got to me that people think they have that mentality of superior. I can't even say it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a superior attitude, like they're above people. And whether you're an ER doctor, whether you're a heart surgeon, whether you're this, whether you're that, you're not above the law, you know. But then I said to myself, but wait a minute, what if even though the wife is a victim, what if that the wife will get persecuted for protecting herself and her children, and he would be implemented because of his position? You get it? So I think about the wife, and I think about the mothers, and I think about dads too, guys, but not fathers, dads only, good dads. Um, but I don't understand it. I don't get it. So that's why also I start thinking of ways to help, and I don't know why. I mean, how can I say? Not, I do know why, but I don't know why I do that. What I'm saying, like long hours.
That's because you didn't have your prescription before. So we're going to have to put you on. I see this as a serious case. And by the way, I'm a very mean nurse. Ask anybody in my family, like, you don't want to get sick around me. And no, just, it doesn't work. So we're going to put you in a program to be continued. We're going to have that phone off by a certain time. We're going to have you doing your rest, your prayers, your relaxation, your meditation on the goodwill of the good Lord. We're going to have you meditating on God's beautiful colors, the yellow, the orange, the rainbow colors that heal your nerves, like mangoes and orange juice. When you see those colors, they're exciting and soothing for your nerves. Those are excellent nerve foods. We're going to have you rejuvenate so that when you get up in the morning, it's going to be morning. There's going to be a separation between night and day. The Lord said to rest. Rest is a
Yeah.
command. It's a command.
It's a command, right? You're right.
We're supposed to dedicate one entire day for rest.
By the way, Dr. Fowler, Trent, the guy you see, the comment on here on the screen, he texted me and last night, and he said exactly what you said. By the way, you need to rest up. You need to rest up, and I do get it. I do.
We're
I
going to get
want
you
the
there.
evil to stop. That's my mission. I want evil to stop. I want evil
Well,
to
okay,
stop.
but you know, evil
Guys don't
doesn't stop
understand.
overnight and it doesn't stop by yourself. Now you have this lovely panel of all these beautiful people all over the country. You don't have to carry all of this anymore. Look how we're carrying each other. Look at the beauty and the grace in this beautiful panel of people. I feel so rewarded. I feel so uplifted. I feel so moved. and look at the mission and the mercy in your ministry. Stop not sleeping. No,
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not doing anything though, Miss Dr. Fowler.
Oh, Jesus Christ on a popsicle stick. Come on,
Okay,
Georgette.
really,
That's
just
wrong.
a tough case.
You
but
do
I've had
everything.
cases
What are
like
you talking
before.
about?
I'm not. I feel like I'm not doing enough. What I want to do is I want to bring old children
You're
back.
putting one foot in the grave. How are you not doing enough?
That's right. So, okay, you have us. What are we, chop liver?
No,
I mean, we have powers too. We're not just potatoes.
yes, you do, and I forgot about that.
Right? So now you got me up here worried about how I'm going to get books in the background.
I
Because
know.
I've been so busy taking care of my grandchildren that all of my lovely books are in boxes, waiting for a new home and waiting for a beautiful library. So, and I was thinking, well, maybe I can go to the library, just do some Photoshop and have some kind of books in the background.
Yeah, you
So-
can white screen that. Yeah, you could put a white screen right behind you.
You
You'd
can
be
do
great
that,
on that.
Dr.
Perfect.
Fowler. I really want a picture of you with like
Some
library
books.
behind you.
I got you. I'm working on it, just to let you know. But in the meantime, since I'm bigger than you and older than you, that kind of gives me the right to boss you around. Don't make me come up in there.
Oh,
I wish you would. I wish you would, Dr. Fowler. I'll send you my address later. I'll get you the flight. I'll
Don't
get you
worry.
do you
I'll
see
be
what?
right
I
there.
need to sleep. I swear.
You
to
guys see
God,
me
I
in the
need to
background.
sleep.
She's on a behavioral mod. Oh, hello. Georgette can't talk to anybody after 8 o'clock.
Yeah. What do we read? Well, what do you read?
Did you know
Wait,
that?
what do you-
Did you know that I tried to shut off my phone? It only shut off for 1 second, and I turned it back on
Yeah,
again.
that's old.
No,
Or
because
instantly, I turned it back on again.
yes, because
Figure
now
it's stuck.
you've conditioned yourself.
Yeah, my brain cannot. I'm like, what if somebody needs me? What if it's an emergency?
Guess
And then
what?
I start, yeah.
Guess what? Let me tell you something as the bigger, older person here. Guess what happens if somebody can't reach you between the hours of 8 p.m. and wake up time the next morning? Nothing. That's right. Yes, this is urgent, but it's not an emergency. You're not the first responders here.
I know.
There's
I know.
nothing you can do about it between 8 and the next morning.
And you have this thing on your phone called voicemail. They can leave you a message. You'll still hear about it when you wake up.
I don't even think I've ever heard her voicemail. Does it make it that far?
Doesn't even go. I answer right away. But see, look what my tiny animal family said. You're addicted. Maybe I'm addicted to my. I'm really devoted. It's not addicted. It's devotion. I'm addicted to coffee. Just FYI, I am addicted to coffee. I drink 12 cups a day.
And that's not good for you either.
I know, but I can't seem to stop that. I did
Oh,
2
my
cups
God.
before. Yeah, I can, Dr. Fowler. I know. I don't know how to do it.
Auntie Barb, I got a lot on my hands, don't I? Really got
I
work
know.
on my hands.
Yeah, she drinks like espresso, baby. As strong as she can get. She's like black
If you
coffee.
can help me, I swear I will get you a flight, a plane ticket.
No
to come
worries.
here.
I will come up in there and we will get you together. And by 6:30 after dinner, we're going to get you 2 tablespoons of red wine. That's going to build your blood.
Oh Lord.
That's going to relax you. And it's just going to take 2 tablespoons of dry
Of
red
what
wine.
again?
Dry red wine.
Oh God, I can't.
It
I'm
makes
allergic to
Oh,
that
she'll be
stuff.
throwing up
makes
all over the place.
I would be through. I don't drink. I can't.
Okay, well, we'll get you the
Well, we don't need to make her an alcoholic, that's for sure.
That's okay. So if you
All
look
right,
at,
she's already admitted to being
Actually,
an
I
addictive
have
personality. We don't need to be doing that to her.
I have a sort of like a son-in-law who's a Muslim and he doesn't drink, but he had heart problems. And I'm like, this isn't drinking, not to him, not to you. And I prescribed for him 2 tablespoons of red wine and as medicine.
Are you serious?
And
It
he's fine.
works.
He's fine. He's like, Mom, I can't believe it. My heart feels so much better and I'm sleeping now. So
That's
they
what I need.
Because he's
not
drunk.
insisting that you do this, but certainly the coffee. Oh my God! I've got we've got work
But
on
the coffee, but the coffee, this coffee here, it doesn't work. It
Then
doesn't.
stop
It
drinking
doesn't.
it.
Shut up,
Substitute
Barb.
it with hot
Hey,
chocolate.
never,
for
hey,
years.
don't
I
forget.
don't want
Listen,
Auntie Barb. Now it's just Barbara. Barbara.
yeah,
If it's
Barbara!
not working, why are you drinking?
What do you want to say, Darren?
I want to say, make sure that you like this. When you do this on YouTube, make sure that you like it. Have your friends like it. Have some other people like it. Everybody likes it. Just like it up. Many
Amen.
likes. It's very important.
Share it, you guys. You guys need to share that with people that don't have CPS cases, and please bring awareness. That's all we ask. Bring awareness, bring awareness, bring awareness, bring awareness.
We are.
Yeah,
In the
For
everyone.
meantime, I'm saying special prayers for each one of you.
I have to start a new show, Mr. Davis. Wants me to do. I used to. Well, I do pray. So what I do is I have a bunch of. I have a booklet that I use every night, and I have a prayer group of people that call me for their cases, and I used to do it. It's just between me and them. However, a couple of them told Attorney Davis about it. He didn't know about this, and now he wants me to do a prayer show for people that
You
need
don't need
support.
to take on any more things.
And then exactly right, and then I said, but I do that every night already. But people want me to. They want me to be part of their prayer group as well, kind of like, and I don't mind doing that, Darren. That's God.
That's therapeutic for yourself.
That's
I
therapeutic for
understand. Well,
myself
you're
as
gonna
well.
have. Do you have a calendar?
I do, of course. I have a calendar.
Is there anything in it?
Yes, calling people and prayer people, and
Do you have your times? Are your times stretched out, and you have your times for everything every day? Like you have like an event calendar for yourself?
no,
Do you like put your times down and what you do and what you shouldn't?
no.
I bet it'd be good for you. I bet it'd be
Uh,
really good for you to itemize your times so you can see exactly what you were doing, and that way you can get 20 minutes here and 30 minutes there. You know what I mean?
I agree.
No, I get that. You're right. I agree. I mean,
If
I
you wrote it
agree.
down, you know.
But do you guys want to be part of my prayer group?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But Darren, I'm
yeah.
trying
I'm
to stay
looking.
away from the F word.
I got anointing oil right here.
I love you, Darren.
Mhm.
Yes, if you guys want to be part of my prayer group, let me know when we can start it. Mr. Davis started last week, but I told him I needed a break a little bit.
You know, I'm a minister, right? I'm an ordained minister for real.
You are?
Yep, you can look me up and everything.
Well, you mean to tell me you can marry people and stuff?
I can marry and bury. That's what it says on my website.
Wow. Um, wow. Okay,
You
then.
didn't see that one coming, did you? I
I
think you
didn't
probably
see
should
that
end the
one.
show on that, right?
I thought I knew your ass, but I guess I didn't. Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Lovely.
You guys, wait. Trent said he's an ordained minister too. Trent, is that what I'm getting?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a pit bull and a minister.
No,
Yeah,
that's not the pit bull. That's James, the pit bull. That's
Oh,
him.
sorry.
Yeah, James. Yeah.
He said, James said you don't want me there in that prayer group. Basically, he's like, nah, you don't want me there, Miss G, and I get you. I get you, James. You guys haven't met James yet. Only me and Darren have, and he was on the show with me and Davis, and he cracked us up. He is like, you know what a warrior is? I kid you not. This guy is like, he's about to go to war, like
Mhm.
like defending America war, and
Oh,
I think he did go to war, didn't he?
I love his spirit. He's amazing.
amen.
Yeah, no, he is a real. He was in the service for real. He really did defend our country.
He was in the service. What was it? The Marines or
Okay.
something? He was.
I don't remember exactly which service it was. Sorry about that, James. I
I
know we
forgot what
talked
he
about
said
that.
too, but he was in the service. So
I
he's.
think it was a Marine, I believe, wasn't it?
I
Was it
think
Marine?
so. He'll let us know, but I want him to join this fight, guys. And I think that the only two people here who are calmer.
No,
is
you know,
Dr. Fowler and Auntie
Carol's.
Barb. Me and Darren
Did you
can
see?
go out of our minds. What did you say? They level us up, you guys. They level us out. I mean, Auntie Barb and Dr. Fowler were like, they kind of like,
Yeah,
when Dr. Fowler starts speaking, she's like, calm. And then when Barb starts speaking, she's calm, mellow. When Darren and I start speaking, we're like monsters.
Let's
Mhm.
go. Right. No time for
Monster.
this.
Compassion.
No time for this.
You haven't seen me when there's a spoon left in the sink.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see
I can
that.
only imagine. I can only
Yeah.
imagine right
Spoon in
now
the sink.
If I go in my
what you're
kitchen,
talking about.
if I go in my kitchen and there's a spoon in the sink, you just. When I walked in the house this afternoon, my family here, my grandson and my brother said, "Uh-oh." I just calmly said, "Does the floor really need to look like this?" And the next thing I saw, brooms and mops.
You know what? I wish I could take
Looks
a
like
video
that.
of that moment.
Looks like
I know.
the pig pen, all the dirt's flying around everywhere.
Right. I want
Whose
to
hands
see
and
that.
feet
I
are
wanna see
that?
I want to see that, Dr. Fowler. I want to see exactly what you just said right now.
No, you
I
don't.
want proof.
Turn on
I
peanuts.
want proof. I'm telling you, I want proof of that. Show me proof. I want to see proof of that.
Don't worry, it's a Stephen King movie. You don't want to watch. You know?
Auntie Barb, what about you? What about you?
What?
Got your moments? You got your moments, Auntie Barb?
Not very often. If you start hearing the Okie accent get thicker, you might want to stop whatever you're doing, because that's when I get, yeah,
We all have our boiling point.
that's when I get irritated. The Okie comes out.
There you,
You know
go.
what
I
it
think
is?
I'll
We're
laugh,
like
though.
with me and Darren, like me and Darren, we're like we bark, but we don't bite. We actually help people.
Yeah.
And
Even I'm just doing that being kind. I'm being nice to you right now. You know.
I know. You son of a bitch! I'm being
Yeah.
nice to
I
you.
can tell.
I know, right? You asshole!
That's the truth.
It
That's
is.
true, dude.
It really
Mary
is.
tells me all the time.
Okay,
You sound like
so
such a jerk.
you can look forward to getting some little reminders from me on the text. Are you
Please
winding
do.
down? Are you ready for bedtime?
Well, now you're gonna bother her, so she's gonna be like, Jesus Christ, Val, I'm trying to sleep.
Did you get your food today? I know, but you know what? She shouldn't know if it's after 9 o'clock.
I want her to remind me. You don't understand, Darren. I can't sleep. I only sleep 3
Hey, maybe
hours.
we'll all call you and remind you. So you don't have to do it, but Dr. Fowler, all of us will call. All right.
No, I swear. I wish somebody can actually remind me to sleep. I kid you not. I need
Get an
to
Alexa.
Right, that's right.
Get an Alexa.
And turn the lights off in the house.
Yep.
But you know, my body is tired, but my brain is working. That's the
I
problem.
know. I know.
I need
I
to
know.
rest.
Your
this
brain
one.
must be tired.
That
I
one.
know. And that's why your eyes bother you.
Yeah, it's
All
bothering
everything
me.
up here is a
Your
muscle.
mouth must be sore as
The
hell.
muscles need to rest and they need the appropriate exercise.
I need. I need.
Your eyes are lazy. And you know why they're lazy?
No,
No,
I
it's
can't.
not. No, Darren, I don't mean it as a remark to her, but the eye doctors actually call it lazy eyes.
Yeah.
When you
Sometimes
don't,
they go the opposite way too. I think that she's one of those alien things.
right, but when you're not outside and you're not playing ball or you're not seeing things from a distance and exercising these
With the
optical
mask?
muscles.
Can I get the mask? My friend told me.
Yeah,
to
you
find
need
the
that with
mask.
that aloe and stuff in
And
there.
then but it has like you put it in the freezer and then you put it on your eyes and then you.
Or they have some that are warm too with lavender drops in it.
Yeah, you put hot charcoal on.
Oh, to soothe your eyes.
And that works.
I see. And you know, you guys, not to go
Tar.
too far off of this, but Chairman Mao, when
Shut
Chairman Mao was in charge, he taught the school children learned every day how to do things to manipulate their own eye muscles. Under Chairman Mao, under the development for families and children under Chairman Mao, and they learned the muscles, and they learned to sing songs and how to massage different areas to strengthen their vision. Believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
You
And
put
as-
some tape in it and it'll
Well,
hold
as-
it right up. See?
there you go. There you go.
That's how I do it right here. You just put some tape in there.
He's-
Hey, look
see
at me. I'm
that?
Georgette.
I cannot. You're such a dork. You're such a
So
dork.
if you do it this way, Georgia, you got to put one in, close this eye, and you do this.
There you
There
go.
you go.
That's perfect. That's moving in the direction.
That's
And it's reusable too, so you can probably get a couple nights out of this.
he's
There-
the clown on the show. He's the clown on the show, you guys. See, I always make Dr. Fowler laugh and Barbara. Barbara didn't out Barb and Dr. Fowler. He hasn't changed clothes today. No wardrobe today.
No,
I
no,
know.
no, not today. I was serious in this outfit. Mary's over
We
here
didn't
too,
see
so
his
I got to be
nipples
careful
today.
of how I
Yeah.
act.
We will have to see the nipples tomorrow. Oh no,
Yes,
next Thursday.
next week. You know what's funny? Is I'll tell you a little story. It's kind of rude,
Uh-huh.
but it's not rude. So a buddy of mine for the longest time would always be like, Darren, Mary has such great boobs. You know, like just show me a picture of her boobs or whatever. So you know what I did one time? I took my shirt off and I took a picture, and he was all excited because I sent him the picture of my boob. For the longest time, we never told him. Finally, one day we're like, you know, that's me, dude.
You know,
So
that's
to
something
his
cool
surprise,
too.
I don't know
You
where
guys
that
hear
went or
this?
what went with it, but it was the
You guys hear
funniest
this?
damn
This
thing.
guy right here. I swear to God, Darren, you're too much.
Yeah, that's the truth. We did it. It was funny as hell. Funny as hell when we finally told him. Mary's like, don't tell him yet. Don't tell him yet. We let that go on for like 3 or 4 months. No shit of a lie.
Did you send it to me? I know you sent me some.
No, I've never sent you my nipple.
No, but it didn't look like a nipple. It looked
You
like
want both of them?
no. I don't want to see your nipple. That's Mary's nipples, not my nipples.
No, I didn't send Mary's nipples anywhere. My
No,
nipples were out.
you're Mary's nipple. That you belong to her, your wife.
Right. But I sent my nipple to the guy that wanted to see her nipple, so it was really my nipple, not Mary's nipple.
I'm clear.
I never
Yes.
said it was Mary's nipple. I'm talking.
She said Mary owns you.
Yeah,
Mary
Mary
owns
owns you.
yours.
You are her husband.
Right. Yes. I have definitely have handcuffs and shackles and things that I belong to her. She's so proud of me.
Mary, I am so
We're
sorry for
praying
you
for
right now,
Mary.
Mary. Mary, I'm so sorry for you. You guys haven't met Mary, but I'm hoping she can do the show with us. But when she's ready, she's dealing with the loss of her daughter right now, and it's not
Yeah.
over yet, Mary. I'm still doing stuff.
It's never going to be over. It's never going to be
Never
over
gonna be
until she
over.
comes home.
I'm still doing
Les
things,
Brown
Mary.
says that. It's not over until I win.
Yeah, and that's why I
That's
don't want to
facts.
sleep until you guys get your kids back.
No, don't
I
hold that
swear.
over me. You get some rest. Because if
Yes.
you don't get that sleep, you're not going to see me get my kid back.
Yeah, it's not. No, that's a yes. Just
That's a dumb strategy. Okay.
I can see that I've got to really, be patient with you.
I need you to be patient with me, Dr.
You might have to
That's
move
why
in
I'm
with her.
grumpy most of the time because I don't sleep. Huh?
I know, but I have a very determined character, so
I like
personality. So don't even worry about it. I got you. Don't make me, like I said, don't make me. You turn
Where's
around
the pin? Wait, you have to hold the
My
pin
pin.
or the marker.
and I'll be at your door.
I know. That's her little stick. I will get you, Miss
We
G.
were talking about it.
I will get you. I will
That's
definitely. I will. But I'm waiting for you and Barbara and Darren to send me a text message at 9 p.m. to remind.
Go to sleep.
Yep,
You'll get
go to sleep.
mine at
That's all you
8
have to
o'clock.
say.
Because 8 o'clock is the wind down hour. It's the take your shower. It's to get ready. It's to turn the phone off. It's to light your little candles. Make sure you burn them in a cup of water. It's to say your
Yes,
prayers
burn the house down.
and take your healing bath, white flowers, whatever it is for you, fruit. People all over the world eat a little bit of fruit at night with the family, something light. And that's it.
But you
That's
know what's
it.
so sad? I want to say something to you guys, and God is my witness. I'm not joking. I swear I'm not joking. You know how everybody gets with their family and they celebrate holidays and all that? As God is my witness, and I'm telling you this from the depth of my heart and my soul. I don't know how to enjoy myself while others are talking to me about their children. I can't. And I feel guilty. I feel sad. I feel I don't know how to explain it to you guys. It makes me feel guilty. I kid you not. I kid you not. And I think that's why I do it over time because I want to hear good news. And that's why Elizabeth, if she was on the show right now with us, she will tell you when she wins the case, she would let me know. It was great today. We won. And I get so happy. I get so excited. Like I want to celebrate. You get it now? So now I want everyone to have that. So
Well,
I
and
found
Isn't it?
myself doing that.
I think that's why so many people, when we try to talk to them about this, they want to avoid hearing about it because they feel guilty because of what they hear going on to these other families, and they try to block it out. And that's why it's so important that we're getting this information out there and letting people know.
Mhm.
You know, you can do something to help us. Even just sharing the videos, even just talking to, your colleagues at work or your neighbors. Hey, did you know about this? Just the least little thing will help. But so many people, they do feel guilty about it and they shy away from it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's also embarrassing
Mm-hmm.
to people to hear what happened. They don't know how to respond. They understand that something tragic has occurred. In our area, I was just speaking with someone today. There are two horrible things that can happen to you in Philadelphia. Number one is if someone calls CPS on you. And number two, if they call the police. I'll take the police any day.
Yep. I'll take
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the police are trained to investigate. They're trained to gather facts. They're trained. They're not here to levy their powers over you
The police is not the problem, you guys. The problem is
whatsoever. Because
yeah, it's
in
CPS
that
and the
domain
state.
there is a
Yeah.
process, there's a procedure. But we all know this has been going on for years and years and years and years and years in Philadelphia. It's like the dreaded. It is the monster.
Mhm.
DHS. Oh my God.
Who would have thought that
Monsters.
the front line of defense for a child is this? Like this is the line of defense that's supposed to protect our children. This is what our country looks at to say that this is the protection for our kids, and it's kidnapping. Who would have ever thought it? Really is. That's the facts.
Well, when you look back on the origins of social work, if I think again about the British Commonwealth and the Victorian era, when you looked at that sector of very well-to-do bored women who said, what can we do? They were from a class of people that put everybody else in peasantry, feudalism, and all of that. And then they decided, well, let me just descend from my lofty place and do a little charity to the people whose land and privileges that we've taken to make
Right.
ourselves feel better. And we're a little bit bored. So we'll just go down there and give them a little soup and give them some socks or something. But what went with them was a sense of superiority, that they know better for you and your families. And that was the origin of the thing that we call social work today. From its inception, it was never really humane or ethical.
I agree.
It was a step on in the elite to make
Mhm.
themselves feel a little better and to also levy another form of control
You're right.
Huh.
I agree. You're very right.
over
You
the
know who you
peasants.
remind me of, Dr. Fowler? It just hit me. Bob Marley.
Georgette.
The way you just
My goodness.
so what?
What
No,
a
that's a
compliment.
compliment. I love him.
That's really a compliment.
That's a
It really is.
compliment to me.
And when I
That's what it is.
travel, I'm in Korea or wherever it is, or Mongolia, and people are like, Bob Marley, Bob Marley,
Yeah,
Bob
Bob
Marley's
Marley.
sister.
Yep. But no, it's the way you speak also, because even in his music, he's very his music is a message. His music is a message. His lyrics is a message. If you guys, you know who he is, Darren and
Well,
Barb?
I don't have a clue.
You don't know who he is?
Come on,
He's
Georgette.
cool. He's so cool.
He wants to love you every day and every night. We'll be together. Yeah, I know all about Bob Marley.
Yes, I love him. I really, really love him.
I don't-
That's who you remind me of. But I want to answer something that Jackie just wrote. Jackie, you wrote this. Well, I
we
can't
need to
read
have
it.
like a little
Can
thing
somebody
spread
read it,
out.
guys?
The one about the police.
Yes.
The police the police get paid through Social Security fund that Bill and Hillary Clinton signed into action, paying the federal government $1 million per child. I think CPS gets paid and CPS uses the cops. The cops, like everybody else on the planet, assume child protective services. They wouldn't be doing this without a reason. They know what they're talking about. They've investigated this. They've checked into it. And then they get the cops to show up and unwittingly act as muscle, essentially. No, again, like we talked about the last time I was on the show, how many of these cases would be thrown out if the cops would just say, excuse me, Miss Social Worker, may I please see the warrant?
Yeah.
You have
I
to
think
enter
that's
this
what we
home,
should start to
or the
But they
warrant
emphasize.
that
do.
you have to take this child. If not to protect our children, to protect their own behinds.
But Auntie Barb, listen to this. They do ask them for a warrant, a court order. I mean,
Mhm.
however, there are these new cops
Mhm.
that feel, or they're intimidated by the social workers.
Mhm.
But the more senior ones, they say no, we're not going to go. There's cops. I've seen videos of cops saying, we're not going to remove these kids.
Mhm.
Right.
The kids seem fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
Well, this is a lovely area of
It-
strengthening
we
the
still need
funding.
cops. We need cops more than we need social workers, to be
We
honest with
do.
you.
We really do.
Mhm.
And this is a lovely area to strengthen the funding to law enforcement, specifically for more training and education
I don't
and
think,
procedures.
but I don't think they got 1 million though, Dr. Fowler. I don't.
The
Well,
average price paid out with the Adoption Safe Families Act for a child in foster care is about $1 million.
Yeah, but that's for foster
But
care.
that's the
We're talking about
CPS.
the
That
police.
whole the cops don't get the
No, they
pay.
don't.
no,
That's
they're
what I was
they're
saying.
terribly underpaid. When you look
They're
at how
underpaid.
your tax dollars break down for real estate taxes in some of the counties near me, the superordinate amount of the money goes to schools, and the lesser of it goes to the municipality. And police and fire don't really get that much out of
No,
that. It's really devastating.
no.
We're blessed here because in our area we have law enforcement that are very well trained in
Yes,
things
they
like
are.
adult autism or mental illness. And
Mhm.
they know how to perform an instant assessment to determine if the person
That's
is
good.
really just acting, in some cases out of control, or if the person may have special needs or something
Right.
like that. Very compassionate and very highly intelligent. I always compliment them on that. We're very fortunate. But in
And you
some,
know,
I'm sorry, dear, but in something like what you're saying, I think that more training
Mhm.
about how to
well,
work with CPS.
Well,
I
but look
agree,
at
but
it.
Jackie seemed, because Jackie experienced this attitude from cops where they attacked her probably, and that's why she feels that way. But one bad apple ruins it for everyone else. One bad
Right.
apple ruins it for everyone.
But was that police officer manipulated? I mean, just like the courts are told lies about us. What was the cop told about you? Did the cop have
Exactly.
access to the CPS? Again, think of it this way. We are paying CPS all this money for these kids. Our cops, like you said, are woefully underpaid. Yet, who of them has the authority to investigate? Who has the authority to actually arrest if something is going on? But who's the one getting paid? This
The
is the
social
big
workers.
issue with this. Really, I mean, when you think about it, is there a need for CPS when they can't investigate, they can't arrest, they don't have the power of subpoena, they don't have all those things that the police force does? Shouldn't there just be like a little office in the police department with one or two social workers who help find foster placement in true emergency situations? Why are we double dipping the system here? Why are the people who just fill out forms and lie on those forms and don't ever actually do anything but collect bonuses and put children into dangerous positions? Why are they getting paid more? Then say there is a true DV case going on and they show up and the parents are going at it. Is the social worker going to go get between them? Or is the police officer?
I think they really need
No.
to learn psychology. I'm not joking. They need to
Yeah.
take courses in psychology. They need to be well trained. They need to
Mhm.
know how to read body language. They need to learn a lot before you just deem somebody unfit, or deem, kids' body language. For example, you can tell an abused kid by their body language, right?
Right.
If a child runs to his mother, right, she's
Mhm.
not the abuser. If a child takes
Mhm.
away from a father, right, then there's something wrong with that. That
Mhm.
has nothing to do with the mother brainwashing, and like the courts keep saying, no, abuse doesn't work that way. abuse doesn't work that way. If the mother is brainwashing the child, guess what? The child is going to be running to the father.
And see, police are trained on how to question
They're not
children.
going to be taken away from the father.
They are.
Every police department has at least one cop that deals with crimes against children. They are
One
trained on how to
in the whole
question.
department.
Mm-hmm.
Well, depends on the size of the department. Some actually have a full department, but they all have somebody in there who is trained to question children. A lot of these social workers are
Mhm.
not even technically licensed social workers. They were just trained on the job.
Mhm.
What kind
They
of training
barely
do you see?
graduated, Auntie Barb.
Right.
Barely.
And so
I kid you
why
not.
are we paying these social workers $1 million per child? And look at what we're paying our police officers.
Oh,
The
here.
ones who are trained to question
Mhm.
children. The ones who could actually arrest. If they show up and that child has marks all over them, guess what? They can arrest the parent right away or whoever did it right away.
But that's
The
not
social
even.
workers can't do that.
But listen to me. An abuser, for example, if it's the father that's abusing the child, the father had visitation with the child. The child comes back with bruises and burns and all that. The mother sees it. Then the mother calls for help. And guess what? The mother loses the child.
Because
And
she
the child
failed
goes
to
to the
protect.
father. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? The abuser always gets the child.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a movie called Failed to Protect that Mr. Davis was
Mhm.
part of. That failure to protect or something like that. So because the mother who's being abused reaches out for help,
Mhm.
she is deemed that, oh, you failed to protect. Well, wait a minute. I called for help. I was calling to protect us.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're saying because I was the victim of this, I'm somehow guilty of this?
Mhm.
That's the whole issue with CPS courts. They criminalize people. If you walked into any other court and
Mhm.
tried to say this, do the same tactics and stuff that are done in CPS court, the judge would laugh you out of there. Because how can you charge somebody with no investigation? How can you charge somebody with no proof? Yet, and all the other courts, you are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, which means your accuser, usually the state or whoever, has
Hold
to
on,
prove what
Auntie
you did.
Barb. I love
CPS.
you. Hold on, Auntie Barb. I love you, but I need you to hold that thought.
Mhm.
James, I'm going to kick your behind for saying that comment. I only meant fathers who abuse children, not dads. I speak very highly of dads. Do not even take my words and write some bullshit like that. I'm not going to have it. So you better take it back or fucking delete it. Go ahead, Auntie Barb. I stated my point.
But in CPS court, you don't have that presumption of innocent.
Mhm,
You don't have the right to due process to even face your accuser.
mhm.
You are literally guilty until you can prove you're innocent. But if you can't hire a private lawyer, you're stuck with the public defender who may be a criminal defense attorney. And like Elizabeth was saying earlier, she's a juvenile dependency attorney, so she doesn't really understand criminal defense attorneys, yet they will appoint criminal defense attorneys who don't understand juvenile dependency. So
Mhm.
this whole system is created to
Mhm.
steal children for profit. Using a child for profit
Mhm.
is human trafficking.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these kids, I mean, let's face it, we all know some of them are trafficked for certain things. Some of them are put into homes because the foster parents might want to adopt them or,
Mhm.
just have them in their home because they want to have 7 to 10 kids in their house. So they're making in California $10,000 to $30,000 a month tax free, and they
Elizabeth,
want
but
this
the
foster
attorney just
child
said that.
because this child is now taking care of the house. They're taking care of the other children, but that child's not getting paid to babysit.
But wait, Elizabeth, the attorney that was on our show
Mhm.
today, our attorney said that. Remember, she said, I didn't know that they get paid when they adopt or
Mhm.
foster. I mean, sorry, when they
They, my understanding is
legal
once the
guardianship.
adoption
I
goes
forgot what she said.
right,
Don't
and
don't
this is
quote
how
guys.
they get foster parents, this is how they get foster parents convinced to adopt instead. Oh, we'll keep paying you $1,000 a month, at least in California. We'll keep paying you $1,000 a month till that child turns 18. And we won't be in your case. If you only do guardianship, we still have to come check on you every 3 to 6 months. You're probably
Wait, is that what she said?
No, that's what I have been told happens.
No, what did
in
Elizabeth
adoption.
say? Was it adoption or was it guardianship that they get paid, or is it both?
They get paid for both, but what they do, they say, okay, you're now, because if guardianship, they could come take the kid anytime. Guardianship, some grandma that wasn't known, that lived 3 states away, didn't know what was going on, she can now file that 388 to try to get the kids. So there's always that constant, well, you only have guardianship, the kid could still be taken. Whereas if you adopt, well, then the child's yours, and we're out of your life completely. We don't even have to come check on you every few months.
Basically, to encourage people to become fosters, they are enticing people with money.
To
the
adopt.
love of money, it is. Oh my God, the love of money.
Yes,
Because then they tell them, oh, look, you're going to get food stamps, you're going to get Medicaid, you're going to get $1,000 a month till this child turns 18, and we
free
won't be
daycare,
in your
free
business
daycare.
anymore. We
Free
won't be in your business anymore. Once you adopt, there's no threat of any other family member coming. Oh, your life will be so much better. They basically entice the foster parents into adopting the children.
Correct.
But it also lightens CPS's workload because, oh, now you're adopted. We can just let you go. Somebody in accounting can cut you the check each month.
Wow. That's
It's
how. Did you guys, there was a video about a CPS. I forgot his name. He looked like he had a head of a snake. He looked like a snake to me. He was talking about, I forgot his name, but he was talking about how neighbors and people should encourage other people to become foster parents. He's like bringing the word out there because we need foster. Yes, is great. Like he literally painted social workers as gods, and I forgot his name, but he's part of, either he's a CPS attorney or he's something in the department. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but he was literally encouraging people to encourage their neighbors and friends to become foster parents. And because they're running short on foster parents. I guess when foster parents find that there's corruption, they tend to kind of like pull back, kind of like, no, I don't want to be part of this.
At a certain point for me, during my own evolution, when I was fostering a bunch of children informally, I had considered going through the system and fostering a child that I thought had a low probability of going back to their parents. This was years and years and years ago, and I don't even know if there was any money incentive at that time. That certainly wasn't.
There was no money incentive, only when, no, it wasn't like this.
That was not an incentive for me because I've always adored children and I've always liked having a house full of children.
Right.
Now, please bear with me if I'm misspeaking. But from what I understand, at a certain point before the Child and Family American Indian Act of 1972, children were still being bought and sold en masse on an industrial level by, not to offend anyone, by the Mormons. The Mormons were going in and taking American Indian children, or the state was going in and taking American Indian children and selling them to the Mormons who were selling them out for cash. And it was an industrial level. Anyone could look it up as to how that act came about. So the American Indian, I'm sorry, I can't quote it. I'll look it up for the next show. Of 1972, the American Indian Child Act says that if you are a person of First Nation, like I am, your tribe has jurisdiction. And those children are supposed to remain on the reservation. If they're on the reservation, they're never supposed to leave the reservation for placement. And they say that the tribe and the state have co-jurisdiction. There's no sense. What's co-jurisdiction? This doesn't even make any sense. And in speaking with someone, you're supposed to have to register with the tribe in order to get these protections. And then your state is supposed to acknowledge the tribe. Well, what's the point? why would I go to someone else to help certify my ancestry? First of all, but don't quote me on that. I would love to look it up, but I think that's how that act came about. But it would be interesting to see how many
ICWA,
children are still protected. I'm sorry, go ahead, Barb.
ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, I believe is what it's called.
Thank you, the Indian Child Welfare Act. That's right. The children are technically never supposed to be taken away from their families.
Mm-mm.
And this had to do with the Mormons.
That's crazy. I'm
This
so
is-
done with all this. I'm
for
telling
you,
you.
Well, see, and one of my biggest pet
What
peeves
is
is
that?
like you were talking about
It's fresh squeezed orange juice. Good for your
You made
nerves.
this?
Yes, I just got it today from the grocery store near my house, just as they were making it.
Man, that looks so good.
Look at
Dr.
that color. Isn't that beautiful? It's exciting and
Look
soothing.
what I'm eating, Dr. Fowler.
What is that?
That's tamarindo.
I don't know what is that?
It's
Oh, tamarind. Oh, okay.
tamarindo.
Oh, with chili. Okay.
Espresso soaked espresso beans, probably.
It's-
See, and
Shut
like
up.
what you were talking about,
You're right.
Georgette,
Say
like
what?
with that person that was, trying to get more people to be foster parents because it's just
Yep.
such a great system. Think
Mhm.
about it this way. If the nearly 90% of CPS cases that are closed out without any wrongdoing found on the family, if that nearly 90% of children were returned to their families, would we need more foster parents or less?
Heavens no, they were never taken.
We would
from
not
the
have a
family.
shortage, would we?
You guys, sorry to get too excited now, but I have another one I want to bring to you. The case of David O. I can say his name. Why? Because he's the city councilman of Philadelphia. David O., of Korean descent, well known in the city, lives right there in the city, was doing martial arts with his children one day, and one of the kids broke their clavicle. Takes the kid to the hospital. Guess what? DHS. City councilman. No one's immune. Guess how much trouble he had to try to get his child back. And he kind of started a little movement, but then I think it kind of, how much of a movement can you start as a city councilman? But if this happens to a city councilman,
Everybody's corrupt. Gavin Newsom is corrupt.
But
California.
he's not having his kids taken away because he can
No.
afford lawyers and he's in a position of power. But
He's
like you
making
said,
a lot of
lonely
money.
city councilman who maybe is not on the same political side as the higher ups,
No.
they're going to
They
be a
protect
target.
him because you
he
should see
was
the house he
targeted.
lives in.
He
lives
came
in a
out,
mansion.
press. He talked about it. I mean, I think it was a real awakening for David O.
Yeah.
Right? He lived right in the city,
I see
right in
that.
Southwest Philadelphia. Now, from what I understand, he stepped down from Kennedy City Council and he's going to run for some other office.
Mhm.
But it would be interesting to see, and I have tried to reach out to his office, but to no avail. But it would be interesting to see if he has still any momentum in his bones.
Probably not.
A pathway for this.
Probably not.
Well,
I want to show something real quick
We'll find
before
out.
we end the show. I want to show something to my tiny animal family. I think she asked what I was eating. This is it. So it's like
oh, the tamarind.
the tamarind. Yeah. She
Yeah.
asked what it was.
Tamarindo.
This is tamarindo. It's like a,
Lovely.
yeah. And then you just break it and
Yeah.
and I like it sour too. I like to eat it sour. Can you tell it's my favorite?
It's a little bit like a fig.
But no, Dr. Fowler, this is really sour. That
was-
looks really weird, but you know what I mean.
Sour one.
That looks even weirder, but it's like this, okay? That looks really, that doesn't look right.
I know.
That doesn't look-
You know, when I come over, we're going to eat something besides bark, tree bark, and stones. Okay, that's
But
another.
this is my favorite, Dr. Fowler. Oh my God. I eat this so much. I swear I should look like one. I swear.
No, I'm
That's
not
my
making fun of it. It's actually very good. It's lovely.
It's so good. My dad, I remember when God, my dad, I miss him so much. He used to buy me like bags of these when I was a little girl. I would just like munch on them. You know how kids love candy? Well, I didn't. I loved this. And I would just eat it like this, or he would bring it in the form of a candy to me.
Very good.
Or no, spicy. This is like chili.
Very good.
But that's my favorite. But yeah, Dr. Fowler, I don't eat like if I have my friends or family over, I will cook for them. But when I'm alone by myself, I snack on these.
Okay. Sure. No worries.
Oh my goodness.
Never mind.
That's
Never
okay.
mind.
First, we'll get you sleeping, and then we'll worry about the other stuff. We'll just take it one little baby step at a time. Fools rush in. Oh, one more thing to the empathics here who are in superpathic. Did you ever hear of a writer called Octavia Butler?
What? Wait. What is it?
A writer called Octavia Butler. She wrote a book called Parable of the Sower, Sower, and it's about a young woman who lives in California, and she's a super empathic. She's so empathic that, for example, if you're sitting on the train next to her and you get an injury, she feels the injury.
Yep, that's oh my God.
Yes, that's someone with a very kind of dissolve boundaries in a sense. I so totally relate to that. But if you ever have a chance, it's something you might want to read. I met Octavia Butler. It's very difficult to read because.
Is there a movie about it or no?
I'm sorry, love?
Is there a documentary or a movie about it or no?
Oh, I don't know. I wish there were.
I wish there was too, because my eyes are killing me, Dr. Fowler. You don't understand.
Your eyes should not be killing you. They're telling you that they're tired. I'm surprised you don't have headaches.
I do. That's right here. I have a headache here and a headache here and a headache here.
Okay, well that's your body telling you pain is your advisor.
Yeah.
Pain is your best friend because pain is telling you, fix this.
I'm going to try.
No, stop. Okay, I just have to boss you around the way you boss all of us around. I've been really very quiet about this for a long time. We're just going to have to read it.
I know. You're being nice. You're being nice. I know. You and Barbara might be knocking on my door next week. Like, turn your head.
The sleep team.
Wake up.
Barbara can guard the door. I confiscate the phone.
Darren and Darren would be like doing the show by himself.
That's right.
Darren would be like, I don't know what happened to my gang. Right. I don't know what happened to them.
Right, because we don't want to have to come and visit you in the hospital. Cut it out already.
Or the funeral home.
Oh God, don't say that, Darren.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. That's how serious this is, though. I know we joke about it, but life's a blink of an eye.
When you go to the dollar store, I'm going to need you to get some little balls.
Oh,
I'm going to get balls.
Is that where they get them at the dollar store? Maybe we can get them at the dollar store.
The little ones.
Yeah.
They have little balls.
You know what? I was wondering what she means when she's like, "Darren, grow some balls." I go to the dollar store, I guess.
I'll get the big balls and the little balls.
The dollar store's got them on.
Or you know what I do with the kids all the time at home? I take old socks and I ball them.
Hope you don't bring them to the dollar store.
Wait, I'm going to show you guys my balls when I buy you.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see those.
Oh my God, I love you guys. Oh my God, I needed that. Thank you so much for that.
You sure did. Or you can take up some old socks, ball them up, and put them into one sock, ball that up, and tie it up. And that's what we use as a sock ball in the house. I play with all the kids. We play sock ball all the time.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah, we call it sock balls. I might have one nearby, but
I want to see it. Darren, where's your ball?
You want to see my ball? I'm going to show you my ball. Hold on.
No. I don't mean that one. I meant the other one.
I'm going to show you my ball, Georgia. Here it comes.
No. I meant the other
There's
ball.
my ball right there. Can you see it?
Oh, thank God.
Oh,
Oh my God, he scares me. This guy.
I got shiny
that's
balls.
beautiful.
See, this is how he has his place. This is his like man cave, you guys. This is his man cave.
It looks like a
No, this is
parachute in
look.
the background.
This is his man cave. This is everything. See?
Wow, it's like a
There, we're on the
laboratory.
big TV there. We're on all these TVs, all these screens everywhere.
Aaron
Wow.
is the guy that you want to be with when it's the end of the world. We will be like like
Yep,
informing you guys of what's going on.
yep.
You know,
We'll know what's going
underground
on
camp.
everywhere.
Yep, underground camp.
We wouldn't run out of
I know,
clothes.
6 feet under here.
That's true.
Well, 8
We
feet.
would not run out of clothes. That's so true.
No, we got plenty. That's right through that
That
door
is
right there. It's my
so
wardrobe
true.
section. Mary's got them all hung up on the doors for me.
I swear, this is where I'm telling you, Darren, I'm going to go to Maine State very soon.
Yes, we'll have a good time.
And
Oh,
then when I
that'd be
see
great.
corruption in front of me, I'll be like, you mother.
Yeah. I got balls this little from the dollar store.
Yeah, this is your balls right here. I got the big ones. You got the
Yeah.
little ones.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Darren, he almost choked on whatever he was eating. What were you eating earlier, Darren? That looks like
Toast.
pizza.
No, it's dry toast. So
Dry
this
toast.
is what Mary has in here for the sign. This says, wait, hold on, figure. The opinions expressed by the husband in this house are not necessarily those of the management.
That's a good one.
That's what she has hanging over here.
Oh
That's good, Mary.
Oh my God, Trent, you're so amazing.
Even God
See?
rested from his work. That is right. Observe the Sabbath and keep it holy.
Oh, he's killing me.
And the Sabbath is not a day of the week as much as it is a place in our heart.
A place in our
Mhm.
heart. You're absolutely right. This guy is so amazing. He always like, go rest, go sleep, go rest, go sleep, go rest, go sleep.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we
Take
all
your
have
balls and
our
go to bed.
assignment now. At 9:00, we all have to text Miss G and say, "Go to bed."
Oh,
Good night,
yeah,
Miss G.
exact same
Happy
time.
dreams."
Anybody out
Yep.
there listening to this show that has her number, do it too at 9. Everybody.
Well,
Simultaneous text at 9.
text her at 8 because she should be winding
Yes,
down at 8 and in
No,
bed.
because she'll be on her show still at 8.
Mhm.
but she'll want to be responding to everybody at 9.
Or it's going to make Mr. Davis really mad when all of a sudden her phone's going blah, 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 blah.
Oh, the show's not over until
It's over.
The fat lady sings.
it's over at 8.
Huh?
8-ish.
No. I don't. Davis doesn't tell me to work long hours. He never told me that. I do
No,
it.
but aren't you on the show tonight too?
Yeah, at 7:00. Yeah.
And what time's that
That's
show
like soon,
over?
right? For you? Is that
At
soon,
8.
right?
8-ish.
hmm No, it's like in 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours? Oh, yeah, it's 7
Yeah,
o'clock
3
here.
hours. Mhm.
So after 8, everybody can text her and say, "Good night, Miss G. Sweet
Yep.
dreams, Miss G. Go to sleep, Miss G."
I wish everybody can. Honest to God, I wish everybody, all the clients and non-clients, can actually say that to me.
We are.
Uh-huh.
No,
Trust
but
me.
what's worse now is now we're going to end up being sick, Dr. Fowler, because now we're going to
But
have to
we're
stay up till
family, Dr.
11. And, you know, like now we're going to be the ones that
I
are in
know.
trouble.
Oh my
I know.
gosh.
We're
It's the vicious
family
cycle.
here in this group. I know. But honestly, hey, some people get mad at me too. Some people call me really bad names when I call them at
I
10:30
do.
at night. They do. They're just like, "Fuck you," and they hung up on me.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not
apparently you're calling the
joking.
wrong people.
Well, maybe
No,
because
they called us
they
for help.
sleep.
I'm calling them back.
Oh,
Maybe
Well,
because
I wonder if they
sleep.
actually see who it is, or if they just their phone's ringing and they pick it up and say it and hang back up.
No. As soon as I tell them, you
Oh.
called us. I'm calling you back from the law office of Vincent Davis. But
Oh,
they think it's late, and they get so pissed
no.
off. And
Okay.
some people are appreciative. They're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for calling me or reaching back," or they're so mean. Some people are mean and some people are so nice. They're so nice. And they actually talk to you and they tell you what's going on, and then you try your best to help them. But a lot of people don't want to be talked to at night.
Well, they want to be helped, but you won't be calling anybody after 9 o'clock anyway anymore. So you won't be getting that problem solved.
Oh my God, that's gonna be so weird for me, Dr. Fowler. I'm
Of
gonna
course
have to
it
get
is.
used to this.
And another thing,
So I might get another phone just to call people.
Elder, I mean, another thing is it takes 28 days to change a behavior, according to some behavioral theory. So we're going to put you on this behavioral mod. After you reach 28 days, you're good. You'll be good. You'll
God,
be
that's
different.
like recovering something from an alcohol or something.
That's right.
This seems like you don't sleep. It's a drug. It's like you're addicted to not sleeping. Oh my God, Dr. Fowler, 28 days I give you. 28 days, you're gonna be fine. 28 days. Oh my God. I will take your advice on that. I would definitely will. And for my tiny animal family, sweetheart, it does happen. Believe me, it does. And I kid you not. And then they will call me the second day, apologize, and I take their call. I don't hold it against them. So it's all good though. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you again for being part of my family. And I love you guys. I love all of you guys. I swear I do. As God is my witness, I do. So see you
We
guys.
love you too. We love you too.
But don't forget that the religion, I mean, not religion, what am I saying? The spiritual show. Darren, are you going to be with me or not?
Yeah, I'm with you. When is it?
I don't know. I need you guys to tell me. I don't know anything anymore. I just want to sleep.
Okay.
Stop the coffee.
Well,
I
you know that
can't.
might be
Can't tell me
something
to
good
stop
to
the
do at
coffee.
night before
You
you
crazy
wind down.
man, you. I can't do it.
Say it. Tell them that you're going to get your rest.
We'll see.
Trent
Dr.
wants to hear you
Fowler,
say,
we'll
I will
see.
get my rest.
Yeah. Well,
Dr. Fowler will keep an eye on me, okay?
I will. We'll send you some. We're going to keep you under close monitoring.
Yeah, I'm gonna be scared of her though.
That's right. You don't
see
want
Fowler
that.
in your
Like a
dreams.
pussycat. Barbara's like I still, I still get mischief.
Barbara!
Fowler be like bam, bam, bam. I know,
Don't make me throw my weight around.
I know, and you would. You actually would.
Oh, my Lord.
She would come to the house with her Bob Marley shirt and shit.
That's right. And you know how they'll look like, Jesus is here. We better act
Jesus
right.
is here now. You want to see Jesus early? I got you. Like, let's make it happen. I'll send you to Jesus. I know. I'll send you there, Georgette. I'll send you there.
You guys are something else.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah. You guys, now it's the peanut gallery.
You guys, God bless you all. I love you all. I pray for you all.
Don't forget to hit like on Facebook and YouTube, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All that
I'll see you
stuff.
next week.
It's very
I'm
important.
going to stay in touch with you guys in the group text about the show, okay?
Okay.
Why we were just here.
Bye, guys.
Mañana. Mañana.
Mañana. Love you.
Love you too.
Oh.